All right, let's go, because there is no intro video. All you get is me, and hi, I'm Rich Slayton, caster for Clash Royale League, your friend with the best sunglass game in the business, and of course, I'm here for the North America and Central America region for the Queso Cup. 54 players vying for $32,500. Some open qualifier players, some invited pros, some top ladder players. It's going to be really, really fire. Today, of course, there are 4 regions. This is the 4th of those regions. You might have seen the other 3 regions already kicking things off, and you might see right below me, oh gosh, this is a good get today. Last second, I tweeted out that I didn't have a co-caster on the day, and maybe some of you saw the ratio, and it was a deserved ratio. Let me tell you right now, that ratio 100%, I accept it. I'm okay with it. Why? Because on the line right now, all the way from, I'm guessing in Stuttgart, Germany, but maybe somewhere else, you might know him as a CRL Western champion, one of the top players of all time, my friend, one of the greatest ever to play the game, and going to be a fun co-caster today. Morton, what's up, dude? I'm so excited to have you on today.
Man, what an introduction. What's up? I'm so happy to be here, and I'm so excited to see the games.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really cool. Let's go take a look at the lineup today of who will be seeing today's matches. This, again, is North America and Central America. So that should say NA plus CA, but instead it just says NA. But don't worry, guys, it's both North and Central America. And most of these names you know pretty well. Starting off with Magma and Hasiel, Lattack and Betfas in our second match of the day. Bag up against Sergio Ramos, your former teammate there, Morton. YoSoyRick, very popular YouTuber and player, up against Kazeem, the American. Flash against Anaban. Oh, take a look at that. Airsurfer and DiegoE, and to round out the first set of matches, Boss against one of the ladder greats of all time in Pompeo. Looking at that first set of matches, Morton, is there one match you look at that you're just like, man, I cannot wait to see it?
Honestly, all games are great, but Anaban against Flash and Airsurfer, DiegoE, and Boss Pompeo would be my favorites, but like all of them are really interesting to see. Honestly, I even say like most of the games, but I think Boss against Pompeo will be really interesting.
Yeah, Boss Pompeo is going to be fascinating. You know, Boss, I feel like, tends to, maybe Bag is also maybe more in this vein, but it feels like Boss might be going for a bit of a snipe here. And, of course, Pompeo at some point. Now, here's a big question for you. I'm very curious about this one. And we will have some funky transitions, guys, because we are dealing with a clean feed today. So if sometimes you see Revel and Bale jump on in there, just enjoy it, man. You get to see some people besides my face. But back to that Boss Pompeo matchup. This is going to be in duel mode. And I guess the question is, what kind of preparation or what kind of thought do you see in some of these guys who are known for decks like Pompeo, of course, with his Loon deck? Like, how does that deck fit into the overall duel meta?
Honestly, it's like really hard to tell about the meta already because there are like so many cards. Like Furnace is being really good in my opinion. Rascals also. And at example, Rascals are really good against the Balloon because like some metas ago, like they changed the thing that the Balloon Bomb is not able to kill the Rascal Girls anymore. And in my opinion, the Rascals are really, really good. And like if you know Boss, especially, he really likes to snipe opponents. So I don't really think, if I would be Pompeo, I wouldn't play the deck, but like Pompeo can play a lot, but really interesting. Maybe it's like the surprise factor, but I wouldn't. If I would be a Pompeo, I wouldn't have done it. Like I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not against Boss. Maybe in our second round of the day.
Yeah.
And of course, I for our second round of the day, let me double check that lineup because it is we are doing 2 sets of matches today. So let me tell you the second round of the day. So in that first match, Pompeo is going to be up against Boss. Second match up against maybe the number 1 seed, and I'm curious if you think he is the number 1 seed in the North American, Central American region. The second match of the day for Pompeo is going to be against Airsurfer.
Yeah, for sure. 100% the number 1 seed in the group. Like no doubt about that. If Airsurfer plays on the best, he will win the group.
Now, talking about this lineup, right, you have some really interesting choices in here. Some players who are able to qualify from Open, some players who were invited here. Is there a player that you think has a really good chance today of maybe exceeding expectations, someone who might perform better than the audience would expect?
It's like hard to say. Like I don't really know like what people expect, especially from Anaban. Like, do they expect Anaban is as great and competitive as he is in ladder? Like, I know that if Anaban plays on his best level in competitive, also he has like Tribe behind him. If he prepares for everyone, and when I faced him in the CL qualifier, like really felt like he's going for snipes a lot. So I would say like if Anaban plays on his best, he could surprise some people.
Well, here we go into our first match of the day. Haciel against Magma. Haciel, top of your screen, out of Mexico. Magma, the American plane, from the bottom of your screen. And you were saying that you primarily know Haciel as a ladder player.
Yeah, as a ladder player. I think I faced him a lot. Look, he's like a really good lava player, but I'm really sure he can play other decks as well.
Fireball at the bridge to deal with the Ice Golem and the Musketeer. And is this going to be a minor Loon variant, or is this a Wall Breakers variant, you think?
It's most likely, I think, Mortar, like Mortar Mask.
Oh, yes, yes.
Fireball. And for Magma, it's most likely the Graveyard one.
The Fire Spirit. It's going to take a while to get used to seeing an actual, not just a Furnace, but a Fire Spirit in the meta these days.
Yeah, I think it's a solid card for one Elixir. I feel like people are like more playing it because it got changed. Like, I think in 1 month, not a ton of people are using it anymore, like in some decks for sure. But like, it's in Furnace especially, I think it's really, really good.
So here we go, first minute, 15 seconds away. No real damage either direction. And right now, Magma leaking quite a lot of an Elixir. Got a bit of an advantage there. Do you think he was just saving and sitting there for this 10 Elixir drop?
Yeah, I think he was saving there, but this is like, that was really well played by Hasiel. Like, he was like predicting the E-Bub, the cannon card there with his E-Bubs, and I honestly think Hasiel should get like some early chip damage, or like some chip damage in general, because in Triple Elixir time it's always tough against Graveyard. Especially in his deck, he doesn't really have like anything like Spear Goblins, which you typically see, instead of the Fire Spirit. So like, I think he needs to get some early damage on.
So here we go. A little bit of early damage, as you were mentioning that. A little bit of chip on the lower left-hand tower, but 22-46, nothing serious. Is that going to be really critical for Hasiel as time goes on? You know, you take a look at, assuming this is Graveyard, and there we go. The Graveyard does come in. What's Hasiel's game? Oh, I guess the Poison is the game plan.
Okay, yeah, the Poison. Like, that's the thing with the dual mode. Like, normally would expect to see like Fireball Log, but he decided to keep his Fireball for another deck, which is like for sure right now the great choice.
And right in again, the full 10 Elixir send coming for Hasiel on the right-hand side, mortared with E-Barbs, and the Inferno Tower will connect. Miner goes to the back for some chip damage. Archer's taken care of by that Fire Spear on the left-hand lane. 20 seconds left in regulation time, and pretty much tied up here. A slight lead for Hasiel on both ends. And how do you see the advantage going as we move into double and then triple Elixir?
We're seeing a matchup right now, like we're seeing Magma having an Inferno on the deck instead of like Tesla, what I expected to see. And like having Poison for Hasiel. I would say like Hasiel should win this one, especially with the Musketeer being so strong in a matchup, because Fireball Snowball isn't like really a good trade for him, so he can't really do that. And like most of his cards, like the Archers, the Mega Man, are kind of bad against the Musketeer. So I would say if Hasiel plays really good and protecting his Musketeer, I would say he should win the matchup.
And what a common theme that is about Musketeer-based decks. You know, it's a core component of course, playing 2.6 Hog Cycle, and same thing here. You keep that Musketeer alive, and it becomes so critical.
Yeah, and especially like Magma needs to go in most of the time with a high Knight or like high Cannon card, and then like mine in the back is like always getting some damage in.
Ice Golem comes up to protect the Musketeer, does pick up. Poison now on defense against the Graveyard. Tank's not getting through, but the Cannon Cart, for a second, looked like it might have enough behind the Mega Minion to get across and do some tanking, maybe some damage. Doesn't happen, so here we go. Triple Elixir on its way, 1620 to 2400, and Magma being forced to play Hasiel's game so far at this stage.
Yeah, I think like Magma needs to be really aggressive now, trying to get some Graveyard RNG in, because like Hasiel's Psyche is really cheap also, so he should be able to always have the Poison selected and Poison ready. So I don't really think there's like really a way for Magma like winning this one.
Final 42 seconds, Cannon Cart high, cannot get to the Musketeer, so just as Morton was saying, protecting that Musketeer proving absolutely key. Miner goes to the back, Graveyard in. This is a lot on the board here, and that Poison going to take care of the Graveyard, but trying to cycle aggressively right now as Magma to keep this last push from getting through. Fireball in on the Musketeer, and no, the Mega Minion does not get on tower. Cannon Cart goes down, 22 seconds left, 17:59 to 10:44, and now the Graveyard cycle comes in fast and furious. Mega Minion might get on tower. Snowball pushes Mega Minion the wrong way. One swipe in, Snowball in, second snipe in, Fireball in. Oh my word, just like that. Magma comes through at the end. Hasiel gets absolutely blown out in Triple Elixir.
That was well played. I think like the one Snowball was his mistake. I think he didn't hit the cannon card once, and then the cannon card survived, and that's the problem with the man. Like in this situation in general, if the cannon card stays alive at the bridge, and he's just able to bridge swim in triple X time, just like the thing with the graveyard. Like in triple X time, it's like so hard to defend, and if you do one mistake, cannon card staying at the bridge and killing all the troops in defense, he basically lost there.
Yeah, that was absolutely brutal there at the end. It felt really great. Yi Chen in the YouTube chat saying snowball miss. And I wonder, I'm thinking about that. We don't have replay, obviously, here, Morten, but that snowball that pushed the Mega Minion towards the tower, how critical do you think that was there at the end?
I mean, I think like the main problem with the mistake was he was like kind of panicking after that. I think he saw his mistake and was like, okay, now I need to defend better and better and better. And this is like the thing in this, like especially triple X time against this aggressive decks. If you do one mistake, it's like really hard to recover. You just like continue doing mistakes or like small misplays, and like it's like the hardest thing I would say in the situations.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. Let's see, take a look at the chat here for a second. Steffi's Gaming saying, wait, did Kazeem and YoSoy switched? I'm not entirely sure. So I don't have an answer to that one. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Take a look at game number 2. Let's jump right in and waste no more time. Chat, I'll try to get your questions as much as possible. But, sometimes can't do it. Here we go. Maybe it could be Hog EQ or could be a Hog Cycle variation, not knowing Hasiel. And look at that. Magma counters 5 with 3 and immediate takes that advantage and goes Lava Hound.
Yeah, good Lava Hound. Like Hog out of cycle, like the Lava Hound is perfect. Okay, most like from Hasiel, I would expect him to see Hog Earthquake. Yeah, with the Firecrack. That's like the classic version. It's most of the players are playing this. Oh, okay, he has arrows.
And so Hog EQ looking like a lot of difficulty so far. There is a lot of spell bait there, but is there anything, is he playing a delivery? We would have seen it probably pretty soon. Firecracker comes around, probably no delivery in this variant, and that's going to be a lot of damage early.
Yeah, but still, he honestly defended really well. Like, they look really worse. His last cards are going to be Earthquake and Log. But that's really brutal. Like, for sure, the problem is, like, Magma is able to arrow one Firecracker, and the other one is most likely going to Miner. And with the early chip damage going in, and, like, really hard for Hasiel to kill the backup with the Skeleton Dragons, also the Flying Machine. I don't really see a way Hasiel winning this, but he also has a really cheap cycle, so let's see. Maybe it's like, okay, oh, he messed up the King to activation.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't quite get it. And that's going to be a lot of damage here. That puts Hasiel right back in the mix. That's going to be a lead right now. And, it's going to be difficult for these defenses on Hasiel's side, as you were breaking it down earlier. But do you think if he can get this tower down and keep that left-hand tower, say, above 1,000, what does that do for him here?
I honestly think he's playing really well so far. If he's getting the tower and he's like able to defend the next Lava push, this will be really crucial. If he's able to defend this Lava push, he's going to be in a really good spot, honestly, because then he can just like apply pressure to the right side, and Magma always needs to commit to Elixir to the right side, and like he needs to build up always a huge Lava push to get the tower. So let's see how this will go out. Like stacking Teslas for sure is going to be key now.
Tesla down, and the Knight does pick up the defense for the first one. Double Tesla stack at the moment. Firecracker in the back behind King Tower with 40 seconds left. And you got to expect that's an Earthquake to pick that up. And so this is looking more and more like it might be a Hasiel win.
Like, this deck is so insane. We're thinking like he has arrows against a Firecracker, he has like so much backup and he can't really kill it, but this deck is so good. If you play this deck on a high level like this, you can almost win any matchup. Oh my goodness.
And Hasiel playing this. If you get an oh my goodness from Morten, that's a resume piece right there. Hasiel making a statement early on. Yeah. Game number 2 takes the win. We're going to game 3 here, folks, and it's going to be, if any indication so far, a fascinating game for us to break down. GG, well played.
So Hasiel still has Fireball because he used Earthquake and Poison. Magma used in the first game Fireball already, so he's not having Fireball anymore. And I think like Fireball right now in the current meta is like the safest card you can play. It's like the best card in my opinion. So I would feel really confident to have like still a Fireball in your deck and game number 3.
Yeah, that's one thing that we don't have here is the deck by deck breakdown. I'm wondering here if I can go on Royale API, as some people call it, Royale API, and see if they do have the updates coming in quickly enough. Yeah, so taking a look at this one, and I guess they have it double listed, but Fireball still available. Rocket was the final card, not an Earthquake there for Haciel.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Maybe then if he has like Rocket as the last card, I would expect him he has for sure another rocket deck, like another earthquake deck. Because normally I would prefer to play an earthquake in the deck. So he might have like another rocket deck, like a lock bait, or he just was feeling more comfortable with the rocket and felt like, okay, most likely Magma is playing something like maybe Sparky or like a different deck where the rocket is like way better than earthquake.
Yeah, that's interesting. I've seen this variation popping around lately. People, I can't remember who was spamming about it on Twitter, but someone was saying that this one was easy mode on Twitter the other day. So we'll see. Obviously, we saw it played to perfection this time around, so we're all tied up right now. So on one side, we've seen Haciel go fast cycle twice in a row now with the Mortar Miner play and the Hog cycle with Rocket play, and pretty heavy variants from Magma twice. I know Magma's known for being a good Lava Hound player. You talked about Fireball coming in for Haciel potentially in game number 3. We have seen 2 buildings burned so far. Do you think that there's a reason that maybe Fireball makes more sense in Game 3 for Haciel with what we've seen so far from Magma as opposed to Earthquake?
Yeah, I would for sure use the Inferno already, but he still could have Tesla. But even against Tesla, the Earthquake isn't really doing a ton. And I would just put for me, it's really risky if you play 3 games, not play Fireball once. I would always play it once at least because it's just such a solid spell currently.
Here we go into game number 3, and looking like Royal Giant potentially from Magma here, or maybe, well, now with a Skeleton's probably going to stay with Royal Giant. On the other side of it, some bridge spam variation here out of Haciel.
Yeah, Magma needs to play with Lightning most likely because he used the Fireball already in game number 1.
And to the green over on Twitch, no, this is live. This is not a recast. This is all happening right now. Just I have an excellent co-caster here in one of the top pros of all time in Morton. Some fantastic games, multiple screens, things to switch and manage, so I'm going to do my best to go ahead and respond to chat when I can, but mostly we're focused on some great Clash Royale, and wow, that's going to be a nice connection there for Haciel.
That's an interesting deck by Magma. He has Poison and Earthquake. Oh, that was a great prediction. Oh, that's so good. Like Bandit. Oh my goodness, Mother Witch plus Bandit is doing so much damage.
This is so filthy on the left-hand side here, down to under 1,000 HP. And we'll get some pig snout touches on that left-hand lane as well for Magma, but oh boy, Poison Earthquake. What is card number 8 here?
I would say it's going to be the Royal Giant, but this could be everything. It's like a really interesting deck, but like with seeing the mini pack and the Mother Witch, the Fisherman, the cheap Psychic cards, RG would make the most sense.
All right, hold on, guys. I'm going to get this going nice and small over here so that it can at least be on there. And now you guys can see, boom, the co-caster is Morton. For those of you guys who are following along at home, and the tower is down. Yeah. Haciel, it really feels like it's going to be nearly impossible, and I think Magma might have realized that, and this might be GG well played in our first match of the day.
Yeah, Hasiel's last cards are P.E.K.K.A. and one spell, so this is honestly a really tough matchup. Like P.E.K.K.A., Mother Witch, Ram Rider, I think like he kind of expected to see RG from Magma. Yeah, P.E.K.K.A.'s coming down.
Vile over in the YouTube chat saying, I have 100 trophies. Is that enough for esports? Well, Morton, what do you think? Is 100 copas enough to compete at the highest level?
I mean, if you're a really great player. There are some players which are really good and not really good in ladder. So maybe you're a really good competitive player, but just not really good at ladder.
Well, and here's both the positive and negative for those of you guys, and that transition is not timed very well. Guys, we'll get that one fixed. I didn't realize there's a victory screen. Let's go ahead and look at this victory screen here. Haciel getting the win in game number 1. GG, well played, Haciel. That's a nice start here, and sometimes we're going to miss. We're not going to hit that transition all the time. I'm getting used to their format, and yeah, I do not have that. I'm going to go ahead and ask for the timing. Stinger timing, so I can get that stinger better sussed out here. Let's take a look at some of the chat here for the moment. I see we got the shades on today. Rich says, Lasma, guys, today isn't just a shades day. Today we are debuting new pairs. If you know, I'm kind of obsessed with Gooder. There's a link in the chat. I'm kind of obsessed with these bad boys. And these ones, you can see the lens is getting a little bit messed up here. But instead, it's not just going to be these bad boys. I have some debuts, new pairs never before seen by you on the channel today during today's stream. So I'm pretty pumped up about that one. But speaking of pumped up, our next matchup, that's the wrong one. There we are. Our next matchup, another American here, Lattack, will be going up against one of the I'd say, top 5 Expo players right now in Betfas?
Yeah, top 5, yeah, minimum.
Where do you rank him right now in Expo players?
Top 3.
And so top 3, who else do you put in that top 3 for the moment?
I was hoping this question wouldn't come. Best NA for sure, him. And then, I mean, I would still say Michifu, just for his achievements.
Fair enough. What is it? 110? Hold on. 1 second. Working on the transition here, getting that right so it doesn't... I have milliseconds set up, and they're giving me a thing that does not make sense in milliseconds. But what does make sense here is seeing a Furnace, and is Betfas going old school here? Is this the deck that basically everyone played in CRL 2019?
Is it going to be with the Fisherman or not? Could be still the Lumberjack version? Oh, it's going to be the Fisherman. I think it's going to be the Fisherman. Okay, great lightning. Really good lightning.
And I thought for a half second that lightning might have changed it over to the Baby Dragon, which would have been devastating. Doesn't happen, but still a nasty early blow here struck by Betfas. No Expo, but big blow.
Yeah, it's the deck 2019 everybody was playing in CL. It's kind of nice to see like decks returning to the meta.
Yeah, this one is certainly brutal. What's interesting, so the first half of 2019, the spring season, there was no Fisherman. And it was this version, there was the Lumberjack version and the Guards version being played. The most played archetype in the season of spring 2019, and also had an abysmal win rate of, I believe, in the mid-20%, maybe about 24%. But then, of course, the Fisherman getting into the mix there in the fall of 2019, and has, I feel like he's in a pretty good place overall right now.
Yeah, I think he's like not OP as he was before, but he's fine.
6-man split, left 3, right 3 here for Lattack. As this feels like it's Royal Hogs here, although I run a variation of this, but not with the arrows.
Yeah, I think he might play Fireball arrows maybe because he wants to save the Barbarian Barrel for like another deck. Okay, going in here. And I honestly feel like the Lightning is like not really doing anything against this deck, so if I would be Betfas, I'm really happy with the early damage because Zappies are just so good against Lightning, and if I would be Betfas, I would be like much more happy with the Fireball in my deck instead of the Lightning.
Epic Man in the YouTube chat asking, whoa, is this live? Whoa, it is, dude. We are live, and coming up next, of course, will be Sergio Ramos versus Bag, but right now, my co-caster Morgan and I just enjoying this great show between Lattack and Betfas, who took a big early lead, but right now the momentum seems like it's beginning to shift towards the American.
Yeah, I'm kind of even surprised that he got so much damage. I think it was more like a surprise factor because if I see the matchup, I would think that Lattack should win this one because he doesn't really have anything against the Zappies. They're getting a ton of value, just frequency in the back, like all the time. Betfas can't really punish that, and if Lattack like kind of controls the game, he should win this one, I think.
Fire Spirits do help a little bit, but that also gives some Fireball attention here as well. Skeletons trying to keep that Furnace alive for one more Spirit. Doesn't happen. Now RG aggressive at the bridge. Cage, I believe... No, Cage not back in cycle. Instead, it's going for the recruits here, and that's going to be quite a bit of damage. Now Cage comes out, but comes out late, 976 on the right-hand lane. So a brief lead does go away now with 2 shots on the left-hand side, and that is a huge push coming down the right-hand lane.
I don't really agree with the Cage. I wouldn't have played it there because now he just got outcycled with another Warrior Giant at the bridge. And I think like the Warlocks might be a bit too aggressive into the Furnace because now he might be in some trouble because he doesn't have his Cage in cycle because he used it earlier. Now I think it's it. I think it was because of the mistake there. I think he went a bit too aggressive there. Can
he get a lightning block here? Lattack does have plenty of tools for it.
No.
Instead goes hard in the opposite lane, doesn't go for the block.
GG's.
GG, and a well played there for Betfas. Took a big lead early, fell behind, and got it right back in afterwards. And I almost hit the transition on that one perfect. All right, hold on. Let's go ahead and I'm going to adjust this transition so that it works properly. Let's go ahead and change it. 1 second, folks. Change it to frames and make it be 110 frames. I think that's correct. All right, I'm going to do a little test here, guys. Let's see. And nope, that's not right at all. 19. Okay, we're going to go back to milliseconds, guys. Here we go. We're getting these things teched out as we are here. 1950. All right, we'll see if this. Hopefully, this is on point, and if not, oh well. So game number 1 in the books right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at the decks. I don't have the. We should have one of those post-game matchup screens from Royale API. Get on it, Team Queso. Give us a post-game matchup screen, and I will try to get the actual decks sorted out here in a moment. Let's see. Rich Slayton, big fan, Q&A. Bryson, I see what you're going for there, and if there's a mod over on Twitch who feels like, doing your job, that'd be fun over there. Can you see through the glasses? Ask Stern Games over on YouTube. Yes, I can see through the glasses, well enough to read your comment here. So, there we go. Oh yeah, don't worry guys. After this match, I'll debut a new pair, never before seen on the stream, so that will be fun. Taking a moment here to reset. So here's a question for you. Obviously, we're taking some time right now for these players to get their decks sorted out. How difficult do you feel is sort of the decision-making process and the pacing in duel mode? You've played all sorts of solos. You've played tournaments with bans, with single bans, with ban on first loss, with blind bans. You've now played in duel mode a lot. Is there one mode that you find makes the deck decision-making process more stressful or more challenging? Or I'm curious about that. The moment, this kind of delay moment that we're feeling.
I honestly think right now, this is the most stressful thing for me. I think duels is the hardest thing to prepare, and honestly, even in the games, you're always thinking about stuff. You're playing the first game, then you see, okay, your opponent used Fireball, and you're like, might I just go for the Fireball bait stuff, or is he gonna think that I'm gonna do that? So that's for me always the hardest part. But yeah, that's the thing we need to deal with. But yeah, honestly, without bans, for me it's the most easy one. The last couple of CL seasons, with one ban, it's always kind of easy because you get them before. But this is you always need to adjust even after the first game to the opponent.
Sure. Do you think? Oh, here we go. Jumping into game number 2. Format-wise, which one do you think ends up giving us the most? What's the best way to put this? Which one is the most strategic? Do you think this is the most strategic of the formats in terms of which one ends up finding? Let me preface this. It seems like the results so far from CRL this season, I would say that the top 20 players are it's a pretty accurate representation in CRL of the top 20 players in the world right now. I'm not sure if I wonder if you'd agree on that one. And do you think that this format does find the best players in the game at the moment?
Yeah, I feel it's a ton. It's for me, it's 50-50 about being better than the opponent, being more skillful, especially with the brackets. If you're better than your opponents, most of the time you qualify for sure. Sometimes you get unlucky with matchups, but overall, after 6 months, if you're in the top 24, you're just a really good player and you're not being lucky there. Yeah, I honestly think this is the most skillful thing, or the most skillful format, I would say.
So here we go. Hog variations in both directions. Lattack going with this new Fire Spirit look, and Betfas also went with a Fire Spirit look, but slight difference in terms of their cycle. Oh boy.
That's I don't want to call it too early, but that's almost it. I played the matchup a ton. I think I faced Lucas X Gamer some weeks ago, and we played a matchup, a mirror matchup, and it was so dirty. We just EQ log cycle them basically. Just EQ log, cycling, EQ log, maybe once get a firecracker at the bridge on skeletons. But if you're in a damage disadvantage in this matchup, there's almost no way to come back.
It's pretty significant right now, and the EQ comes in on one side, and Lattack trying to find ways to defend, not able to get the EQ down on their side, and that's a huge lead now, 651 to 2024. This feels like it might be insurmountable at this state.
Yeah, I don't really think there's any way to come back, honestly. Even especially with the king cultivation, so even here he doesn't even need the Tesla to defend the Hawk Rider, and it's just about few earthquakes, and yeah, this is most likely it.
So we have not seen the expo yet from Betfas, but still going to be lots more Queso Cup to be played every Wednesday and Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. And if you're in Europe or somewhere else in the world, look up the time difference on your own. But at that time, Wednesday and Friday for the next few weeks is going to be the North American, Central American region, of course. I'm doing Wednesdays, not doing Fridays, but you'll be with me every Wednesday for these. And then if you want to wake up super early, you can see the Asia region. And then, of course, our Europe and Latin American regions. Europe, Middle East, and Latin American regions are all playing as well midday each day. And speaking about getting midway through, no midway point here. Easy 2-0 for Betfas. So a nice quick win early on. Lattack not in a good situation, as T5TJ says in the YouTube chat. Yeah, no, normally you would like to win. That is probably a pretty good evaluation there. Man, it goes early. I feel like, let's talk about buildings, right? High skill versus low skill on buildings. With Tesla's weird difference in placement, do you think Tesla is the highest skill building, or is it still too overpowered to be considered a high skill building?
I think it's too overpowered to. I don't really think it's a high skill building. I think it just it makes it more annoying that it's different at other buildings, especially if you play EQ. Like if your opponent is always going high with the Tesla, you're not able to EQ the Tesla and the tower at the same time. I just hate Tesla. I just would like to see it a nerf to it.
I mean, buildings, and I'll see some chat. I'll get some of the chat questions here in a moment. I do see your questions in the chat there, everybody. You're talking about buildings. Is there a building that you would say could even be labeled as high skill in its play, or is it at best getting to middle?
If I think about it, I don't really think there's any building which is really high skill. For sure, there's some placements. Bomb tower used to be a building which you could do really great placements with. Sometimes using the bomb, and sometimes you can't do it. But honestly, I don't really think buildings are that hard to play. If you compare to Fisherman, especially, if you're Fisherman is kind of like a building, I would say. Fisherman is way harder to play, or Tornado, than all of the buildings together.
Sky in the chat saying mortar skill. Ryzen saying barb hut high skill, and that would be a bannable offense if I were feeling more evil today. But speaking of feeling good, things can get even gooder, as you might say. First pair. We're doing 3 new pairs today, guys. And let's unbox. These ones are called the Donkey Goggles. So let's go ahead and check out this of my first 3 new pairs. I don't know if you're a sunglasses guy, Morton, but I have weak eyes. Oh, you know what? We're into game. I have to wait until between games. Boom, let's go.
Oh, yes. Sergio was back. I'm excited.
Here we go. Sergio Ramos and Bag bottom of your screen against Sergio Ramos, the CCGS World Champion, and of course, teammate and friend of my co-caster, Morton. And it seemed like he took a little bit of a break there. It feels like a lot of players who we thought we'd seen the back of are sticking around a bit longer than we may have expected there, Morton.
Yeah, I feel like some players which are thought about, okay, maybe going on to something else, they just were okay, a top 1K in the world, finishing on ladder isn't really hard to do for a pro player, so they're just doing that every day, going to school or doing some different jobs, and then they're just playing the CL qualifier and get some points.
RG in the back, and this is an interesting variation. RG Furnace with the Battle Healer and the Fisherman. Talk to me about the Battle Healer in this deck.
I mean, there were some, I think, Ruben really liked to play this deck. He played a ton of Royal Giant Battle Healer. I'm honestly not the biggest fan of the deck, but if you're really good with the Battle Healer, it's so annoying to defend Battle Healer. It's kind of, you need to defend it, but otherwise if you defend it or attack it, all the troops get healed up. So if you're really good with the Battle Healer and you know what you're doing, it could be really good, especially if you expect the opponent to go in with a poison spell, or playing the poison spell in general.
Sergio Ramos looking like going to be graveyard here as the Furnace sets up into that opposite lane. Immediate poison here. You're going to see Bag switch sides on that one pretty consistently as we go through here, and I think that timing ended up just about right. I actually haven't seen this yet. No, it didn't. I don't know if there still is a completely counter Furnace timing with poison anymore.
I don't think so anymore. I don't think so. I think Sergio timed it perfectly. I don't think you can time it better.
So Royal Giant at the bridge now, and that Valk is going to get eaten up by the Mega Minion, but not going to get much in the way of damage on tower here. 2108 on the left-hand side, but look at that. Cycled all the way back around. Now Bag goes to the opposite lane Valkyrie in response, but no cage to pull. And this Fisherman going to do a good job of inexpensively controlling a lot of this push in the left-hand lane.
Yeah, but now like a huge push for Sergio. Oh, that's really hard for back to defend. Look at this Alexei solo. Snowball. Oh, he messed up the snowball, but still, it's going to be a ton of damage. I think if Sergio would have played the snowball a bit better, they would have been most likely tower down.
To the right-hand lane go both players, and now you see Bag setting up the pressure in the left-hand lane, hoping the poison goes that way. But I think that Sergio's going to just go ahead and ignore that Furnace for this exchange.
Yeah, I think he's just going to do it. I think the Royal Giant from back was a good idea, but I think it was like a bit too aggressive because there was so many things coming down on the left side that he had to kind of overcommit to it, and then Sergio knew he didn't have enough elixir, and I think this might be it soon, like one more graveyard to finish things off.
Battle Healer is staying alive for the moment, and the Royal Giant gets down in front of the Battle Healer. That is very, very important here. And now just trying to stack right now is Bag at the bridge. Royal Giant does not get on tower. Cage gets down just in time. Fireball trying to make a little bit of room here or steal things at the bridge. Pressure in, but look at that Furnace damage on the left-hand lane. 269 on the right-hand side, Graveyard in. Bag does not have an excellent defensive option, and that's the BGG. Yeah.
Well played. I think the ones Bag was like maybe too aggressive on the left side, or like on the right side, cycling back to another Royal Giant at the bridge. And Sergio really knew that he didn't have enough elixir and went aggressive with the graveyard. And yeah, I think that was really well played. But like also the defensive capabilities from Sergio are so strong. Cage, Cannon Card, Magma, not the worst things against Royal Giant.
Yeah, let's go ahead and see if we can get those decks up here from game number 1 fairly early. Take a look at the chat here. By the way, here are the Donkey Goggles. These ones are pretty fire. I've never seen these ones before. The bright orange with the blue. Those are pretty sick. They actually kind of match the background behind me here. So let's go ahead and take a look at the chat here for a moment. The RG did connect, just got pushed by Cage. Okay, yeah, the RG did connect there. So talking about the Furnace, I've seen a lot of questions in the chats about Furnace on both sides here. Not sure what the Twitch chat's talking about. Let me know what you're talking about over there, Twitch. The Lattack on the Furnace, of course, you tweeted about the Furnace being OP. Talk to me a little bit about the Furnace right now.
I feel like there's like so many fire spirits coming out, and like especially with Fireball being mana, that's for me the most annoying part. Like you need to play Fireball because of all the Mother Witches, all the Fireball bait stuff, and it's not really worth it to Fireball a Furnace first of all because the fire spirits are still like being annoying for you, and if you Fireball the Furnace, yeah, you like it's really hard to defend like the other stuff. So I just feel like Furnace is so good, especially with the fire spirit, and like the splash radius is actually insane. Like sometimes I'm playing my troop next to the tower and it's just like splashing on that, and like double hot decks are crazy right now.
I see some people asking in the YouTube chat, how do I qualify for the Queso Cup? Qualifiers are already over, but there's the rule set. It did have some open qualifiers. They have passed, but events like this do happen all the time. You can go ahead and follow me, follow the Clash Royale Esports Twitter, or, of course, follow Revel Amar, who organizes all these events. And you'll see lots of information. Open qualifiers for events like this happen a few times a year. So go ahead and try your hand. Maybe you'll be up against Morton next time around. First minute away, Ram Rider and some work on the right-hand side, 1938. Ram Rider seems like she's making a bit of a comeback these days, Morton.
Yeah, I actually saw like I think Clash Royale Esports Twitter like they posted something about Rambo had like a really good win rate in the last CL season or like the last CL month, and it's just like so punishing. And like some decks like the Packer Rambo one is actually really good. I think Hasiel was using it earlier. Some people used it also on ladder. So I feel like Rambo is like a really solid card, but it's like kind of surprising for me to see. Like, you didn't see like Ram Rider for like months, but now it's kind of back. I don't really know the exact reason for that, but it's a really solid card overall, especially in Bridge Bomb decks.
Mega Knight jumps in deep, not going to do much more than that. Bag's going to have to eat some here, it looks like. Log to push back, going to take not a charge, but some damage on that right-hand lane. So far, Morton, it's all going the way of your former teammate.
Yeah, Sergio's still a good player.
It's so interesting to think about. People talk about where a player's skill level is or isn't at certain different points. But the difference between top 1,000 in the world, top 200 in the world, and top 50 in the world is such a massive gap, play by play. So you look at someone like Sergio Ramos, who maybe had a season where he wasn't playing at top 20 level, but you forget, hey, but he's still playing at top 50 level, which is infinitely better than someone in the top 1,000.
Yeah, it's like for sure. Back then, like 2017 was like there was Surge, there was Osiris, and then like nobody. Right now it's like they're like 100 player, which I could think of. They're like really good and could beat each other. It's like time has changed a lot.
Mega Knight in, Inferno Dragon going to get taken care of by the Zappies up high. YoSoyRick trying to help the breakthrough happen. That Mega Knight not going to escape here, going to force a lot of Elixir out on the side of Bag, and Bag's starting to thirst a little bit here.
And yeah, we all know that Sergio lost Mega Knight, and he's so good with it.
Mother Witch. What was that Mother Witch? Was that Mother Witch trying to get on some of those?
Yeah, I think he thought that once Spear Goblin is coming off the hut that he's gonna get another Hoggy out of that. But it's not a big deal. I think he's still like doing fine. He's like still has a ton of elixir to defend this.
Final 90 seconds. You see Sergio leak there a little bit to give enough time for that pushed across the bridge. So you can E-Wiz counter. Triple elixir on its way here, and this is such a strange and interesting deck out of Bag.
Yeah, I think we all know Bag likes to play some, I would say, like weird decks or like his own. Oh, that's okay. That's fine. I thought like the Magna might jump to the tower. Okay, wait. I think this might be it here.
Mega Knight trying to break through a little bit. The cannon cart does go into phase 2, but there is no phase 3 for a cannon cart. That's an important thing to remember there, folks. As this Ram Rider makes a beeline for the tower. Last second Goblin Hut does pull, but oh boy.
Mother Witch. We love to see that at the bridge. Like, if you have an elixir disadvantage against Mother Witch, it's like, you can't do anything. Like, for sure he gets defended, he can defend this, but like, he can't come like this.
So, final 30 seconds, then I'm going to pose a question to you as we've discussed the Mother Witch and the Furnace, because I think you'll have an idea what question I'm leaning towards here. I'll just throw E-Barbs on that list as well, maybe clue the question a bit more. Final 20 seconds, trying to hold on right now is Bag. Not looking good. Fireball really only has one target, which is a strange choice in this situation. Really only one target for the Fireball. Easy decision for Sergio Ramos, and a quick win here for Sergio in this best of 3.
Really well played.
So the question I was going to ask you, and maybe you've guessed the question with me mentioning Furnace, Mother Witch, E-Barbs. What is your nerf list right now?
Nerf list, I would say on top, and then there's like nothing really coming. I would say Mother Witch. Like, I want the Mother Witch nerf. It's so annoying. Like, if you don't have, that's like for me the most annoying part for duels mode. If you don't have Fireball if you use Fireball already, you can't really use Graveyard, because like if your opponent plays Mother Witch open, you're using Graveyard. But even if you use Graveyard Poison, if your opponent plays Mother Witch with Heal Spirit, you can automatically give up. So I would love to see Mother Witch nerf, because I feel like it's really broken, and I honestly feel it's like a really matchup dependent card.
And that does become challenging, right? For a lot of cards that do, you get this concept card that comes out that adds something cool and different, but it feels like the more different you try to make a card, the more matchup dependent that card becomes.
Yeah, for sure. But I still think with a small nerf, it could be a cool card, but it could also like be more like of a fine card. Honestly, I like the concept, like I'm a big fan of it, but I think right now it's like a bit too strong.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where I do think that even though it was over dominant for a long time, I think Fisherman is almost kind of a perfect example of how a new concept can eventually become. I don't think. I mean, there are some matchups where Fisherman you're like, oh, that's going to be frustrating. But overall, I don't find Fisherman to be at this stage in the game so matchup dependent. But it's one of those weird questions like of what makes a card. What leads a card that direction, right? How do you, as a designer, come up with a card that adds something new, but that doesn't add in more coin flips?
Yeah, true. Like for Mother Witch, I agree with Fisherman. Like for sure, there's some matchups. If you play some type of decks, it's really annoying to face Fisherman. But I don't really feel like if you play a deck and you face Fisherman, you already lost the game. I feel with Mother Witch, if you play a certain deck, you don't have the right cards against Mother Witch, you already lost the game straight up.
Taking a look at the chat here for a moment. Problematic qualified for CRL this month in the Twitch chat. Hey, congrats, man. If you make the top 32, then I'll probably be casting one of your games. But I'll be jumping on for, of course, next week will be the monthly qualifiers, next weekend. And I'm going to be doing the top 32 on Sunday. I'm not doing those top 1,000 ladder brackets. That's a big ups to Eric Benamu, EB7, who will be doing those. Of course, you won't be casting any of those, Morton, because you'll be playing in them. And then, of course, if you make the top 8, then you'll be on broadcast. And, there's a guy here on the screen right now, on the stream right now, who's made that top 8. Morton, you've been in the monthly final more than once, which is more than most people. Most people haven't been in it once even, but you've now made it more than once. Talk to me a bit about like the how hard you feel it is to make that top 8, because it feels like a grind, but then also you have so many players who've made it more than once, some even 3 times.
It's the hardest thing ever, honestly. Like, it's so hard. It's like, it's not really like about like, it's like about playing on your best for like 2 days straight up for like, it's like if you play CL against the best teams in the world, like 2019, 2020, you had like 1 hour game, you played your best and it was over. But here you need to play, even if you're playing the 1,000 people bracket, even if you face like worse players and you know you're better, you still need to be focused there, and you need to be focused for like 5-6 hours. It takes so long, and the next day you need to be prepared for your opponents. If you're like top 8, you're so happy.
Here we go, jumping into our next match of the day. You can see the results so far on the right-hand side of the screen. We just finished Sergio Ramos with a 2-0 sweep over Bag. And now here we go into our 4th match, YoSoyRick up against Kazeem. And, I might have some bias here, but I do feel like Kazeem should have the advantage in this between these two.
Yeah, I think Kazeem is the way better player, honestly. Like, I wouldn't underestimate YoSoyRick. I think he's a good player overall. He's playing a ton on stream, and he's also sometimes high on ladder, but Qasim, I think, is like on a different level if you talk about pro.
And Royal Giant Connection on the right-hand side. Lots on the bridge here, and Giant Skeleton. You don't see a lot of Giant Skelly right now.
Yeah, I'm still a big fan of the Giant Skeleton. I think I used the Bomb Tower Loon deck a lot, even after the nerf, and I got a 100% win with it. So I'm still a big Giant Skeleton believer, but I see like that the Giant Skeleton is not as good as it used to be anymore. But I still like the surprise factor, honestly.
And yes, this is dual mode for you, Patrick Yang, on the YouTube side of it, so they will not be repeating cards from game to game. And, there's something interesting about this. Running Giant Skeleton right now, there aren't a ton of decks that Giant Skeleton doesn't have a lot of cross-play, so if you can get a win with a Giant Skelly deck, that's, one maybe slightly one more central meta card that you've saved for another opportunity.
Yeah, and I think he lagged. I think he lost his connection. He lost his connection. I think he showed his phone into the camera.
Oh boy. Well, players are responsible for their own connections. Yeah. So, YoSoyRick, you stream for hours a day. You stream. Oh, there we go. Does get the Electro Giant down. He's back in the mix now.
Okay, you can still win this one. Even it's tough, but Zappies are so strong. I honestly think this deck does really great against Electro Giant, so if you are annoyed by Electro Giant, I think most of you are, this should be a good deck with the Zappies, the Fisherman, the Giant Skeleton to tank, also the Musketeer to kill like the Mega Man and stuff. Oh good. He needs a cage now.
Does he get there in time? Does get it just down. 14-24 on the right-hand side. Fisherman, might add, does not quite get all the way through. Bomber is the card that kind of I would say a quiet buff, right? Bomber got buffed maybe 2 balance changes, maybe 3. I'm trying to keep track of the the slower pace of balance changes these days. But Bomber took a buff, and it does feel like it's having quietly having the best period in its existence.
Yeah, I feel like especially in some golem stacks where like people are really annoyed of if you're just like, it's such a defensive card and you can't really. Okay, wait, there was a great lightning.
That was a great lightning, and that's a ton of damage coming down right now. 665 just like that. YoSoyRick in the lead after disconnecting. Unbelievable. Right now in these final few moments, we're pretty much tied up, Morton. Who do you give the advantage to in the final 2?
I would say Qasim has the advantage now because he has Earthquake against the Goblin Cage, and it's way easier for him to cycle Royal Giant at the bridge than the Electro Giant at the bridge, because with the Zappies, the Fisherman hand, like I would say like he should win the game now. Even YoSoyRick kinda come back into the game.
EQ in. Dark Prince trying to help against that Royal Giant. Good NATO to pull everything back. And there you have the Brawler. Working the RG going down here. A bit of a counter push going the opposite direction. Of course, this is not the lane that YoSoyRick wants to play in. And look at that Lightning getting the Musketeer as well. Risky move there. That Muskie almost walked out of range. YoSoyRick does get it down. Does he have enough here to stop this Royal Giant? EQ predicts the cage and doesn't get it. This could be enough DPS here to stop this Royal Giant. If so, this could be some danger here for Kazeem.
2 EQs. More like, okay, Lightning Cycle most likely now from YoSoyRick. Okay, he's going E-Giant to bridge. Oh my, what is he gonna do now? This will be so close.
Has to stop these Zappies. Lightning on the Zappies. What a high IQ play out of YoSoyRick.
Oh.
Lightning on the Zappies. Brilliant play. Someone on Twitch clip that one. Yet, what excellent veteran move there by Rick to not go for the tower damage and instead get the Zappies off the board, defend his tower, and get that win. What an excellent play. Morten, what did we just see?
I don't know how he won that. I would still give the matchup against the Qasim, then he disconnected, and then he still won the game. Even the position was really bad at the end, but that was like a really smart play going with the Electro Giant and also Lightning. That's like the main thing if you want to succeed with Electro Giant. Most of the time you don't really want to go in for the Lightning on the towers. Most of the time it makes more sense to just Lightning with like 3 troops as you can do.
That was absolutely wow. Here, I'm giving some of our Spanish viewers who are asking for our the Spanish link in the chat right now. So en español, there's the link for you. Let me spam it here one more time. I want to make sure that you guys do. It's not solo inglés. It's Spanish is over on Twitch on Revel Amar's channel. But let's give I see a sheesh. I see some GGs, some winning after DC, some wow. Someone's clipping. Thank you very much for the clip over there on the Twitch side, guys. Do appreciate it. I mean, I gotta give some applause there. The Lightning play. Because don't forget about this one though, Morten. Because you get that play at the end to go ahead and not worry about the tower damage and to or not worry about it and get that the Zappies off. But then on top of that, remember the one before that got tower and just barely clipped that Musketeer. Just really smart play out of Rick.
Yeah, great Lightning plays. But I would say like Qasim's biggest mistake was like he was like most of the time using the Zappies to support his Royal Giant. I would have liked to see him using the Zappies more on defense because against the left giant Lightning deck especially, Zappies are like your best answer.
The Zappies, yeah, definitely helpful there if they stay on the board, but Rick making sure that didn't happen at the end. Kazeem has to be taking some time to figure out what he can change on this one. Here we go, jumping into game number 2. So on one hand, Kazeem does have lots of good options. RG, we've seen more RG today than we have seen in general lately. But RG Giant Skeleton does give him a lot of other opportunities here. And neither player was really leaning on the quote-unquote broken cards in that game. And here we go seeing one of them. The Mother Witch out and Rick going Sparky.
With Ice Golem, I don't know what to expect.
Well, that's Clash Royale for you. You think you know what to expect, and then despite a Fireball decides to go for the tower and not for Mother Witch as well, and you see why. It's the Sparky getting damage there. I was going to say that even when Clash Royale feels like it's maybe everything is expected, we still get some changes, of course, coming into this, having just done new balance changes. And by the way, for those of you watching at home, the Goblin Drill is banned not just for this competition, but also for CRL. This up for the entire month of June because it's not on full release yet. So you will not be seeing any Goblin Drill. And I'm very curious, Morten, about your thoughts on the new card.
I played it already. I tested it a lot. I would say it's a really good card. I would say it's a really good card. I think it's like really annoying to deal with. You always need to be prepared for it because sometimes I played a card, I play tested, and my opponent was playing it. And I'm like, okay, this has to be a minor, but then it was like a Goblin World, like the Goblin Shower is stepping on my tower, so it could be. I think like some people will like not be happy about the card.
I had to let you finish there, Morten, but let's all stop here for a moment.
Yeah.
And what in the world are we looking at?
Yeah, that's a Sparky export. I don't know what's that, but
I was gonna say, like, is this like a deck from like Rick's recent YouTube videos, or what is going on here?
I don't know. Like there was like I don't really know when, but like some people were using Sparky Expo, but I think it was like more like a troll when the Sparky was buffed, I think. But like using this against a good player in a competition. Oh my.
And a connection on the right-hand side with the flying machine, Ice Golem and Sparky to the left-hand side. And there you go.
Mega Knight. Yeah, Qasim should play Mega Knight here. Oh no.
Not how you wanted that one to go. Ice Golem will defend, and that's going to be an Expo drop on the left-hand side. And, wow.
Yeah, this leads to defend this.
You know, people in the chat laughing because I may have misspoke a minute ago, but, you know, on some veins, after seeing the way this deck played, maybe I didn't misspeak entirely. I mean, unbelievable. What a ridiculous... Oh, could this go down on the right-hand side, though? Spell, Fireball. Not Fireball. Is it available? Piggy gets it. Oh, and we are going to sudden death, and Rick cannot believe it.
That was, like... I think, like, it was a mistake, like, over-defending the Expo a bit, because it was kind of obvious that the Expo will get a tower, so maybe he committed too much risks to defending the Expo. And like he should have maybe like strolled with a Sparky instead of like over-committing to an Expo, but yeah, I think right now like there's no way he's gonna win this.
Sparky playing defense against this Mega Knight, Tesla down as well. Ice Golem to defend, and man, you think that you know what's happening. Expo across the bridge now.
Like I think YoSoyRick will be really good, like able to defend all this stuff from Qasim, but like I don't really think he's gonna be able to break through at 1-1 with Expo. Or like Qasim has a big damage advantage, so I don't really think there's any way.
If the damage was reversed, do you think that Rick would be kind of guaranteed a win here?
Hard to say. Like in this game, you don't know what's going on. Like I thought he was winning already, but now he lost the game. Before that, like I thought Qasim was gonna win, so it's like really hard to say. Like hard to predict the game here. Yeah, but this is it.
That's it. I mean, what a crazy turn of events. Look, I don't know what else we're going to see today. At this point, I think someone might bust out a card that hasn't even been debuted yet with the way things have been going so far. But what we do know is that, at least in this matchup, we've learned to expect the unexpectable. Crazy game in game number 1. Game number 2, maybe crazier? I honestly... as far as best of 3s that I've cast in 2021, so far I gotta put this in top 5 just in terms of pure entertainment value.
Yeah. But it's good. That's what I want to see. Like, these are the games why I'm watching CR. Yeah.
Corral is saying, wait, what's happening? The Queso Cup, guys. If you don't know, this is the Queso Cup. There's the logo right here next to my hand. The summer split. Here's the rules. This is a big event, big league with lots of big time players, and of course one of them on the line right now, Morton. And as we finished up, we haven't finished up. We're getting ready for game number 3. Here's a question for you. Obviously known not just as a fantastic head-to-head player, but also one of the best 2v2 players of all time. Who is the most you face so many duos? Who is the duo that was the most difficult pair that you ever faced as a 2v2 pro?
Oh my, that's a really good question, man. I think we beat like everyone.
I know you did, but there's got to be someone who made you sweat more than everybody else.
I think Cold and Razor, like 2019 was like our kryptonite, I think.
Yeah,
we were happy that the Colton didn't re-sign with Complexity and they changed teams.
Yeah, that certainly switched things up. Colton and Razor at their best were pretty fire. Here we go. Yeah. Mega Sammy saying, Rich, is Morton live? Yes, he is. And of course, Colton and Razor, at the time of Complexity, quite famously kind of took the jump on everybody, where they went and lived at the Complexity Training Center on the Dallas Cowboys campus and down in the Dallas area, and spent a few months prepping 2v2 before everyone else did, and it took the league a while to catch up, but of course you did, along with your long-term 2v2 partner in Sam, and did to fantastic success. But that's the past, and this is right now. Kazeem, Rick, game number 3, and we've seen some madness, and now we see Lava Hound, and the card once famously described as the Lava Hound counter. Don't know if that ever really held up, but it is the Goblin Hut coming out here against this Lava Hound deck?
I would Goblin Heart is honestly like a really good card. It's still a really good card against the Lava Hound. I would say it's gonna be Lava Miner, Flying Machine most likely against Graveyard. I would really be concerned if he's not playing Graveyard, to be honest.
We'll see if that is in fact the choice. Sets up with the Tombstone. Tombstone, for a while, Ice Wiz NATO Tombstone was pretty much the meta of Clash Royale. Like, every other deck was Ice Wiz NATO Tombstone. Obviously not the case anymore. Tombstone fell out of favor, but in the last few months, it's been creeping back in a bit in Lava Hound decks. Any idea why, Morten?
I feel like when we talked about the highest skill buildings, I think if I think about it, I need to say Tombstone. Like, I really feel to say it because, as you guys see, like, Tombstone is like really great. Like some different placements, especially like the Lava players, they like always be able to play like on a really high level. Especially against the Goblin Heart, there's like a perfect Tombstone placement. Like it fully counters the Goblin Heart for like a +2 elixir trade. And also against Mega Knights, it's like really great to kite. And I think like the only reason why it's not like being like used like a ton or like being used more is because of the Earthquake, I think. But if Earthquake is like being used already in a duels format, I really think it's a solid card.
Well, so far doing an okay job on defense here for Kazeem. Talk a little bit about the defensive plan for the American here against YoSoyRick as he defends against these incoming graveyards when we get into double and later triple.
Yeah, for sure he always tries to play Tombstone like that. As I said, it's like the best placement against the Goblin Heart, which is like a really nice thing because Goblin Heart is annoying. But I think like for his key is like getting a ton of value out of this Mega Minion, especially because Mega Minion against most of the graveyard decks, they're really struggling against that. So you want to get as much Mega Minion value as possible, and then like trying to play Barbarians on the graveyard is key. Even if he's able to poison it, they're still most of the time cleaning everything up. And going opposite lane, then like you don't really want to go same lane to the Goblin Heart as well.
To answer Alex Stitch's question in the YouTube chat, yes, this is dual mode. And there you go. You see the Barbarians being played, and exactly as you said, cleaning up most of that graveyard, and that's 5 elixir working against 9.
Yeah. And now he's going in opposite side, which I think is the right move, because he needs to do it. Otherwise he lost the game. Like triple elixir graveyard. I think he just needs 1 or like 2 more graveyards, so mine in the back. He still needs to be careful with the spear golems on the left side.
There's 3 on the left-hand lane. Mega Minion does come out to work against them. 272, 139.
Oh my goodness.
This is so tight. 443, Rick behind on Elixir. Kazeem ahead on damage. Graveyard in. Barbarians not in cycle. Poison will do a lot here if Rick can get to it. Doesn't have poison right now. Miner tries to be predicted by the skeleton at the bottom left, and now Barbarrel as well. But now the Miner will go to the front. What a not placement. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Goes to the front, does Kazeem with the Miner. I don't know if he can get around in time. Graveyard in, poison in. Can Kazeem do anything here? He cannot. YoSoyRick takes it. Kazeem goes to the front, gets picked up on the Miner, and that's GG. Well played.
What a best of 3.
Yeah, that might be the best of 3 right there. Clip that whole thing out. Content, baby. What a game between these two. YoSoyRick comes out on top, and, you know, I guess we both have a bit of a mea culpa here to say, you know, Rick, well played. We got it wrong. You had some brilliant moments in this one. What a GG indeed.
He played really well, honestly.
Played very, very well. Let me take a look at what we have coming up next on our list for the day. That was YoSoyRick and Kazeem. Up next, ooh, Flash and Anaban. Then we still have Airsurfer and DiegoE, and then Boss versus Pompeo. So some pretty great ones. And that's just round 1. And then we go into round 2 of the day, because this is the first 2 rounds of this round robin. Man, it's going to be a whole lot of fun. And by the way, don't worry, Pompeo might be last in this round, but this is a double round today. So we'll be seeing 2 doses of Pompeo for those of you who want to see him. Man, so 3 great games in that one, right? The first one, the great lightning play by Rick. The second one, the crazy back and forth. And the third one here came down to the wire. Do you have a favorite pick of those 3, Morten?
I would say the first one, because it was like about the lightning play and also this connection at the start of the game.
Yeah, that That always feels good, right? You disconnect.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything that feels more like you just kind of are like beasting on somebody when you DC and then somehow come back in and win. That does feel feel pretty great. And those of you, by the way, who are enjoying the stream, if you don't know me, I'm Rich Slayton from Clash Royale League. Been casting for CRL since 2018, alongside Morton, who's been playing in CRL since 2018. One of the best to play the game. We're here at the Queso Cup, $32,000 plus on the line over the course of this league with 4 different regions, all playing. This is the North American region here every Wednesday for the next 3 weeks. And then I'm not sure where the Fridays are going to be, so I'll have to get back to you guys on those ones. But we're here for this one all the way through. And if you're enjoying this content, if you want more of this content, you want more competitive content, whether it's short guides on techniques, whether it's inviting pros on to give 5 or 6 breakdown tips to master a certain deck, whether you like BO5s or you just enjoy competitive gameplay, this is the place for it. So if you're in YouTube right now, don't forget to sub, hit that button, hit that like, and make sure you come on back. And I do see, over in the Twitch side, Frost Durst with a tier 1 sub. That's the 3rd month of subscribing for Frost Durst. Dude, thank you so much. Appreciate that. However you guys support is phenomenal, whether you support by subscribing, whether you support by following, whether you support by just being here. Love to have you guys for the most fun place for competitive Clash Royale. And we didn't talk about them much because we had to jump into the game. But how y'all feel about the donkey goggles? I don't know, Morton, if you have my stream open or if you're just watching on the clean feed here. But these things are, I got to say, pretty fire.
Looking fresh, my man.
Thank you.
I would love to wear them as well in Germany, but most of the time the weather. Like, I'm not really a big sunglasses fan. Like, I wear them sometimes, but I don't really. For me, it's not really a reason to wear them. Like I'm always sad if I see the weather outside. Not in the mood.
What brand is that? August Leo. There it is in the chat. Gooders. They're my favorite. I probably now own, with the recent shipment that I got. Oh boy, I think I own like 20 pairs of these bad boys. They're super cool. They're super fresh. And yeah, and you know what, Morton?
Yeah.
I think we might have to get you a pair. I might have to make that happen. I'm going to go ahead and, I'm going to go ahead and DM Gooder right now and say that you want a pair of Gooders. And why don't you take it away with Anaban and Flash while I hook you up with a sick pair.
Anaban against... Oh, that could be Expo. That could be Expo Fire Split. That's what I thought about as well. Like, Expo, like, with the Fire Split could be insane. Okay, it's gonna be hard. But still, seeing something different from Anaban. Like, most of the people, if you think about Anaban, you most of the time think about, like, a beat-on player. But Anaban is actually, like, not that bad when using Psychic decks as well. And Flash looks like using the Mortar deck, which we saw a lot, especially, like, I think, like, last year in CL. I think, like, Room used it a lot. As well against me in the World Finals, I think. But like this deck is really solid. Looks like coming back into the meta because of the Cannon card buff.
And DM sent. We're making that happen. And back into the action. I'm back now. And this has to be the EQ version. Sorry if I wasn't listening because I was trying to hook you up with some sick shades. Is this EQ or Rocket from Anaban?
That's the question. I would say it's gonna be EQ, but for him I would hope it's EQ because against the Cannon card and Mortar would be way better. But let's see. Maybe it's a different plan.
One moment here as I'm trying to... Oh, there we go. Hog at the bridge, Mortar right in response, and we're going to find out right now. And there you go. It is the Earthquake.
And the funny thing was, Anaban was like complaining about the deck like 2 days ago on Twitter, I think. Like saying this deck is so annoying to face, and now he's playing it himself.
Miner goes into the back, picked up nicely. Good read there by Anaban to get the win. And so apologies, Frost Dust. I saw it looked like it was like a play on Fred Durst, but it's Frost Dust. Got it. Fred Durst, the longtime singer of cheesy 90s 2000s band. What were they called again? Limp Bizkit. There you go. And go ahead, Morton.
I just want to say it's really interesting to see Flash using like the minor poison variation, not the graveyard one, because like a ton of people are using Mortar Cannon Card with the graveyard.
Mortar picking up the Hog Rider, and that's going to be a nice bit of damage from the Firecracker on the right-hand side. And thoughts on Firecracker right now, Morton? Because Firecracker was for a long time the single most hated card by all pros because of that little annoying dodge. Do you still think of her in the same way? Is she better now with the slight reduced range, or is she still just as obnoxious in certain matchups?
I still think it's a really annoying card, and I think the most annoying part about Firecracker is like, for sure she's annoying herself, but most of the time you're playing Firecracker and Cycle decks, you're not gonna ever see Golden Firecracker or stuff. So even if you have a great counter against a Firecracker, they're most of the time able to outcycle it. And yeah, what is more annoying than one Firecracker, like two Firecrackers? So I think this makes her like really annoying, in my opinion at least.
Musketeer working on the left-hand side. 13-10 to 11-65 so far. Anaban with the lead here. And again, interesting choice by Flash, who did play pretty much more mid-level, elixir decks throughout most of his CRL career. Not a lot of cycle decks played from Flash, as you were mentioning earlier. A bit of a surprise here on this one. And good spears to protect the Musketeer. Mortar connects on the right-hand side. And a bit more damage. So as we go into triple, does the EQ log cycle win the day?
Yeah, I think so. Like, he can just defend like all the time, like try with skeletons and catch it with Knight, and also like just going for EQ cycle. I think if Anaban plays it really well now, not doing any mistakes in defense, he should win the game.
And Jan Carlos over on the YouTube chat, we will talk about Pompeo when Pompeo is playing, which will be fairly soon. Right now, it's one of the probably the single greatest sniper in Clash Royale history in Anaban, up against Flash, the longtime anchor for whatever team he was on, whether it was in CRL Latin America or CRL West. In final 20 seconds, 5:53. Miner goes to the front here for Flash. Does connect. Log pushes off. Miner poison. Snowball in.
EQ log should do the job.
Can one more Miner get around? Going to be picked up easily by the skeletons. Early skeletons. Anaban saw that one coming from a mile away. GG.
Yeah, well played. Like, as I said, like in Triple X time against EQ log, especially with like playing another cycle deck, this is not like the spot you really want to be in.
Yeah, that was a pretty rough one. And there you go. Frostdust saying 916 Sacktown. Oh yeah, shout out, dude. My hometown. Hippie One Kenobi in Twitch chat saying I still need to get my new gooders. I decided on the Satan's or the Vincent's Night Terrors. Nice. Those are both super fly. We'll do our next pair here probably at the end of this round after the Pompeo deck. But we're sticking with the Donkey Goggles for now. I don't know how they named these Donkey Goggles. Maybe it's because they're King Kong, or not King Kong, Donkey Kong colors. Not entirely sure. Talking about the Goblin Drill. Triple Draft has Goblin Drill, says T5J5. Yeah, I have not touched the Goblin Drill yet. Now, Morton, you were talking about the Goblin Drill earlier. You've played it some. Do you see, is playing the Goblin Drill going to be a new archetype, or do you build it into support structures that already exist?
I wouldn't say it's a new archetype because I think it's way too similar to Miner and Goblin Barrel, but I would say it makes some like log bait decks better in general. Because it also like defensive capabilities. You can use it against Giants, you can use it against E-Giants. So I would say like you don't really build decks around it, but you can put in some decks instead of card switching up, and I think it's like overall a really solid card.
Interesting. So rather than being more of a Miner replacement, you think of it as a... Do you see it in a double bait deck, or do you see it replacing Goblin Barrel in bait-style decks?
Like, I try to build a double bait deck with the card, and I also like to use it on defense. So it's like I put like a Tesla out, and I think I just put it instead of the Tesla because it's also good on defense. So it's like more... It's really interesting for sure. I can't really say if it's like really good in the meta because... It's hard to say because I didn't use it against pros yet, but I still think in some decks it will be viable.
And Fireball bait here for Flash. Anaban hits the first one and splits 3-3, looking maybe like pigs here for Anaban as well. And yes, guys, I did just see that frame rate dip there. The Morton, do I still have you?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so did your clean feed just dip as well, or is it only mine?
Mine is still fine.
All right, hold on. Let me go ahead and check my clean feed here, guys. Not really sure what happened. I'm going to go and reset that YouTube. One moment here, folks. I'm going to pop over here and get this thing fixed in a GIF. Let me go ahead and reset the clean feed. Guys, the challenges of doing the whatchamacallit, these remote casts. 1 minute, folks. Very, very sorry about the delay here. Morton, why don't you tell us what's happening?
It's a mirror matchup, looks like. Anaban got some early chip damage in, but it looks like a mirror matchup. But Anaban has the Electric Spirit instead of the Mother Witch, but otherwise it's just like Fireball, Wickud's mirror matchup, and they just play defensive now. Are you not missing a ton?
And I'm back up here. I might be a little bit ahead of you, so we'll have to do a little count when we come back in. But we do have the clean feed back up, and I'm going to just make sure that it's pushing out at 1920 by 1080, guys. So we're going to have a little disruption here for a second as I make sure it's pushing out all the way. And, look at my very interesting set of recommended videos. I watched one Mr. Beast video as a test, and looks like we're losing it one more time here, folks. So give me 1 second. There we go. We are back. We are back, and we are at 1920 by 1080. GG. He wears sunglasses because he's better than Tony Ferguson. I wear sunglasses because why not? And they're fly. Gooders. So Fireball Bait, this is the variation that I've been running for Anaban, and slight difference with Flash going with the Mother Witch. And at the moment, you see the advantage so far going to Anaban. Does the Mother Witch get much value in this matchup?
That's honestly a good question. I don't really think so. Maybe sometimes against recruits it could help, but I would honestly, like, this is one of the matchups I would say, like, I would prefer to have the Electric Spirit just for cheaper cycle purposes.
Goes with the 4-2 split on defense, does Anaban, with a 3-3 high here from Flash, trying to stay aggressive. Fireball in the middle. Zappies. Do any of them get on the flying machine? And they don't.
Oh my, that's the Mother Witch. Doing so much work, and that's a ton of damage.
Fireball in on both directions. That's a ton of damage, though. And, of course, nothing for that flying machine, so flying machine going to stick around for a while. Anaban not going to go for a catch and reset here.
Yeah.
4:36 remaining.
Yeah, like, that's the thing with Mother Witch. If it survives with 1 HP, it's just, like, so dangerous.
3-3 one more time. Zappies on both sides. Final 75 seconds. Triple Elixir on its way.
Will be interesting. Like, how is Anaban supposed to come back this? It's really, really hard.
Mother Witch goes opposite lane. Fireball cleans it all up. Enough for Piggies, though. Does Anaban just go full send in that left-hand lane here?
No. I think he's gonna slow wall again with Wickets in the back. Oh, bridge. Okay, that's interesting. Flying machine, and now he's most likely gonna... Okay, he gets the cage.
Now Piggy's down. Fireball at the bridge, but again, Flying Machine will stay active. Flying Machine for Flying Machine. Do the Zappies protect? And they do not. One tile not back enough for that Flying Machine. And things getting more and more difficult for Anaban here as we go to the final 30 seconds.
Yeah, I think Flash won now. Maybe I'm in front of you, like with the time right now, but just Fireball and that's it.
Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, I have 16 seconds. We'll reset the time. I'll help you do this right now. I'm gonna do a countdown with it. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
we are
1.
back.
We are back, and that's a win there for Flash. We're going to game number 3.
Well played. Like, the one Mother Witch survived for 1 HP, and that's the thing. You need to defend the troops. The Mother Witch is attacking them, and you're in trouble.
I don't know, Mike, what you're referring to there. Of course, I promote myself. That's why I am casting this because it's on my channel, and you all come here, and hopefully you enjoy it. And if you enjoy it, then you sub. That's how it works, Mike. Don't know what you're upset about. Is it because you don't have these fly Donkey Kongs or donkey goggles? Is that what it is? I get it. Can you ask Morton what he thinks about Fire Spear? Well, Iron Man, we've talked about it a bit, but let's talk about it on its own. And Christian, I will get to your question next. Morton, we talked about the furnace, but what about the Fire Spear on its own? I know that you're a bait player, and some people say that bait that bait is in a rough spot because of the Fire Spirit. Feelings on that one little piece of elixir?
It's incredible. I kind of pushed the time of Lockbait. Like, Lockbait is not that, but it's... If you face Fire Spirit, it's like so annoying. It's so hard. For me, the interaction doesn't make sense. I don't really know if they did it on purpose or not, but it's really annoying against bait. So if you're starting with bait, put Fire Spit in your deck, and you have already a great matchup. But overall, I think like I'm always a big fan of one elixir spirits because I don't think they can be bad. Like it's one elixir, you always get value out of them, even just for cycle purposes. So if a card is one elixir, most of the time you don't really do anything wrong with them.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Do you think that a fix for Zap for Fire Spirit would be reducing the range enough where I don't know if I don't think there's any way for a Fire Spirit to only get 2 of the goblins on the barrel versus 3. I don't know if that's even possible.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't touch it right now. I would say like just like chill with it a bit with the Fire Spirit and let's see like how it's gonna be played out. Like for sure right now a ton of people are using the Fire Spirit, but that's like most of the time. Like if a card gets buffed, people are using them in competitions, and let's see if like in a month like still people are using the Fire Spirit or they're just thinking, okay, I just prefer to use the Electro Spirit and Skeletons because they're better.
Fair, and that's really I like seeing the level-headed thing, not emergency nerf. Just hey, let's let it settle for a bit and see what happens. So, that's really interesting. I think that's the right move there. A question came in. I said I'd get to this one, so here it is in the YouTube chat. Let me go back and find it to make sure I'm answering the correct question here. But I did say I'd respond to this one as we go into our next matchup. The question was, what do I miss the most about casting IRL? Actually hanging with these people. Like, being next to Andrew in the booth, hanging out with Morton and all the different teams. It's a lot of fun being able to actually all be together. And there's, of course, the hype of being in the room, obviously. But, like, actually just being able to hang out and talk to each other and, and be face-to-face is really cool. So I definitely miss that a lot. I think that's a pretty obvious answer, but definitely the right one.
I agree. Like, it's the most thing I'm missing as well. Like even it's like your opponents, you always like to talk to them, and it's just like different feelings to play against them on stage.
Night Witch and Mother Witch, a double witch. If Anaban pulls out a classic witch here, I feel like I have to throw something. If he possibly went triple witch, but that's not going to happen. Electro Giant goes opposite direction and right into a Mama Pekka.
That's not what you expected. I think it was like really sure it's going to be a Mega Knight. Like otherwise he wouldn't have played a Pekka at the bridge. But it's interesting to see Flash using the Ice Wizard.
And talk to me more about why that's interesting here.
Because I honestly I think like this was a huge nerf for the Ice Wizard, but also in duels mode, if your opponent doesn't have the Fireball like available anymore, it doesn't really matter honestly. Like Poison was able to kill before as well, so it's like maybe killing it faster now because of the HP nerf. But like some people were like saying if Ice Wizard is dead, it's dying from Fireball, but especially like in competitive mode with duels, I don't really think so. I think it's still a really solid card, especially if your opponent doesn't have Fireball in cycle or like in your deck. It's not available anymore because you used it already.
And Graveyard down as the Mother Witch gets across, but the line held here. Pig working on defense a little bit. And Morton, you're laughing. Why are you laughing right now?
Because the Hoggy tanked like 1 second for the Graveyard. And that's like not what Flash wants to see because he got way more damage than he wants to get.
And Tio Rio, thanks for hanging out and modding on the Twitch side. I don't know if there's maybe Hippie One can take over the prediction duties over there on Twitch, but right now I think Flash would wish someone to take over the playing duties right now, as he again is facing not just a Mama Pekka but also a Fisherman for this Electro Giant deck.
Don't really agree with the Fisherman from Anaban. Like I don't really think it was like it didn't really do anything honestly. That's interesting.
Double Witch down, and Bats will go away. That's a nice little bit of NATO work. Not going to do a whole lot.
But still, one shot maybe? Yes.
Electro Giant. Keep it, buff it, nerf it.
Rework it.
Rework it. I should have put that in the conversation. Okay, so we fly you all the way out to Finland and put you on the team for a month. How do you rework Electro Giant?
Oh, I would need a month. It's hard. Like for me, the biggest problem about the Electro Giant in some matchups, you can't win. In some matchups, your opponent you can't lose. Like if you don't play against a building and against like a Fisherman, it's like automatically win. Your opponent can't defend this. So I think it's like really matchup dependent card. So I would love to change it. And I think like it's a really annoying card as well. Like for most of like even casual players, I don't really think anyone likes to play against Electro Giant because if it's at the tower, like for 1 HP, it's doing so much damage.
Yeah, that's the amount it punishes you when it does get there is so aggravating. In a way that maybe more aggravating than the golem death damage that was recently nerfed. So
but interesting to see more Goblin Hut as well. Like then like in the last couple of competitions, like people like really like to use Goblin Hut. Even Goblin Hut didn't get touched like for some time.
Well, it's always a question of the cascading nature of buffs and nerfs, right? What is it? What changed around that made Goblin Hut more viable or more usable, or is it just the zeitgeist changed?
I think it was like more about like also nerfing the bomb tower. Bomb tower was like always one of the best buildings, and you can just sub in the Goblin Hut for it. Goblin Hut is great, especially with Isos NATO, defensive control, and this is really close.
So some suggestions here for how you might do a rework. Make the zap radius smaller for the Electro Giant. That would be a thought. Nerfing the health and making it cheaper.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
It's hard to say. Like I would need to play test it. Okay, like Flash actually won the game. That looked like a really hard matchup, but he played really well.
Flash played a really nice one. Interesting deck choice here from Anaban. We've seen older Graveyard Mega Knight Double Witch decks, but this one's certainly a big change.
Yeah, Goblin Hut is so good. Like in dual, I think like dual mode is a big part of like seeing some off-meta decks like Goblin Hut. Like if you feel like your opponent used discards already, or you don't have the really building anymore. If you use Tesla, for example, already, or like Mortar, and you kind of think, okay, I want to play like Electro Giant. You kind of need to build around the deck like Goblin Hut or like a different building.
In the YouTube chat, TaterNader74 has made a number of requests of you, Morten. One of them was wondering which CRL pros you could beat in a fight, and his theory is all of them. I'm very obviously that one probably has to be. We have to make that match. And I'm a former mixed martial arts commentator. Would love to go ahead and do that one. But maybe more important request here is the B-Rad versus Morten rap battle.
Oh my!
I'm wondering what your skills are in the rap game.
I don't know, man. I didn't really do it yet. I would say B-Rad is better. Most likely.
B-Rad might have some slightly better meme skills. Is Electrify the best rapper in Clash Royale history?
Yes. I think you need to give him that.
Currently holds the title. So I don't know, B-Rad, if you're out there, which I know you're out there somewhere, you still exist, there's an opportunity here. There's a chance for you to take out Morten, but more importantly, to take the crown from Electrify, current best rapper in the game. And here we go. Talking about some of the best in the game. One of the longtime greats in Airsurfer, and up against one of my favorite stories in Clash Royale, a guy who really turned around what appeared to be a career on the downswing, and that was DiegoE.
You're right. With both, I think. Okay. Gonna be a classic. Like that's a matchup we saw already. Like Airsurfer likes a ton of Mortar. He's like really big fan of cycle and control decks, and he used the Mortar a ton, and so it's kind of obvious for him seeing Mortar. And I think he's using Mortar Royal Hogs, honestly, with the cannon card.
Would be an interesting choice here, and there you go, Royal Hogs. Easy call here, and Fire Spirit, Firecracker Log, not a single bit of damage.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I think DiegoE should win this matchup. Like I don't really know how Airsurfer is gonna break through Fire Spirit, Firecracker Log. He can always EQ the Mortar. Like I know Airsurfer really well, he already knows, so this will be tough.
So here's a question for you. I mean, that is still a -1 trade on the side of DiegoE, but then of course you have the challenge on the other side there for Airsurfer. Do you think that, you talk about that, we saw that combination. Do you think Diego wants to make that -1 trade consistently?
I think he can do it. I think he can do it. Okay, this he took too much damage, but I think his best defensive thing or like best defensive capabilities are like most of the time going for a Tesla high and just skeletons or like firecracker on that. I think this is how we will play the game.
King Tower activation does help a bit. Hog Rider still gets some good shots in. Fire Spirit does not sneak by to tower. First 2 minutes away into double elixir time right now, and that's a pretty healthy Valkyrie. It's going to require a response.
Yeah, even the Valkyrie was kind of unnecessary against the cannon card, but he wasn't sure if the cannon card is going on. So good Earthquake, good Fire Spirit, now just Firecracker plus Log most likely. Okay.
2-2 split does get picked up by the Tesla. Why do you think the Airsurfer went with the offensive mortar into, I guess that is his strong side lane? Does he want to try to start pushing into that right-hand side, or is he fine playing either lane?
I think it was more like protecting his Musketeer because he had a Musketeer on the map and he just was like trying to switch up things, and because he knew like, or he still knows it's really hard to break through with Royal Hawks, just like trying to bait out some elixir, and I think it kind of worked out for him. He got some damage.
Hogs in, EQ in, Tesla gets down just barely. Slight elixir advantage going to Airsurfer at the moment, but DiegoE does have stuff on the board, although that Firecracker, she is not going to get a shot off. And here we go, 2 elixir advantage. Airsurfer sets up his spears to the right-hand lane, cannon cart to the left, and he decides to go mortar low rather than mortar high here.
Yeah, because of all 3 towers are hitting that, I think it's a safe play. Now the first time he's going for the high. Tesla, great Musketeer protector of the skeletons, but now, let's see, is Airsurfer gonna... Okay, he's gonna EQ that, which is a fine play, especially with the Firecracker being dead here. But a really interesting thing about Airsurfer is that he doesn't have a small spell, so he decided to put in the Fire Spirit kind of as a small spell.
And there's a nice little +1 trade for Diego at that Fire Spirit. Pig's trying to get past this log. Valkyrie working, EQ down. Pig's doing some damage here. Oh my word, Airsurfer sneaks past that, and you see DiegoE a bit perturbed with the final result there, and a bit of a smirk out of Airsurfer.
Yeah, Airsurfer played perfect. He's so good with this deck, especially.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and like with this type of mortar decks, like he's so good. Like every time I practice against him, like he likes to use like minor control decks, Royal Hawks control decks. Like if it's about mortar, he's just like one of the best.
Yeah, it's he's certainly top tier across the board, and feels like he's playing with a lot of confidence these days. I'm bringing up the current leaderboards for CRL, and where you currently sit 6th on the year in the CRL leaderboards. Is that, do you know if they incorporated the ladder results from this week?
Yeah, they did.
They did. So yeah, Morton right now. So current ladder update for you guys. Mohammed Light currently at number 1. Basoto Samuel at number 2. Anaban, who we see here, number 3. Igor, a.k.a. Hazard, a.k.a. Random Game, a.k.a. a bunch of other a.k.a.s. Igor currently number 4. Viper, the Frenchman, in number 5. And then Morton rounded out number 6. And that's an interesting mix, too. There's no country really dominating the top of the game right now, as that's Egypt, Brazil, Mexico, Russia, France, Germany, and right behind you is Ruben out of Spain.
Yeah.
Golden Burrito questions. No, nobody has missed the Golden Burrito. The Golden Burrito is on high. Will happen, but I am in a summer camp in the middle of the woods in California without a burrito to wrap it in. So the Golden Burrito will be a thing that we do as a celebration once I am back in Texas.
Oh no, this is clone, I think.
You think hold on. You think Airsurfer's going clone?
He might play Giant Skeleton clone with the Skeleton Bro, and that's how the deck. Like, I think some people use it, but it's Giant Skeleton double spawner. That's interesting.
I honestly don't know what to say seeing Airsurfer play double spawner. Like, I get it, and also, ouch.
Oh, I don't get the E-Giant. I don't really understand why he did that. Might but just be Graveyard? Double Hut? Like, I don't really, like, I'm so impressed to see Airsurfer playing Double Hut because I never saw him playing something like that.
And there we go, right-hand side. Giant Skeleton working its way across, and let's see if there is a Graveyard pull here. Would be a bit of an overcommit out of Airsurfer, so unlikely.
Yeah. Let's see, I don't really know what his win condition is. Looks like it's just this cheap Double Hut Giant Skeleton cycle deck.
Yeah, this is unique. is a great way to say it. Could this be a weird Royal Giant deck?
Could be, but I would say his last card is a spell. That's my guess. I would say Fireball is his last card, but it could also be just like cheap cycle cards and Royal Giant Skull.
Electro Giant sets up in the back as we go into double elixir time.
Yeah, that's the best Electro Giant deck right now, in my opinion. Like just sub in the Mother Witch for the Ice Wizard.
Lightning comes in and not getting great targets for the Lightning this time around.
Yeah, Airsurfer splitting up the troops really well.
Again, seeing a guy who's known as one of the top cycle players, obviously one of the all-time best Expo players, playing this is just, my brain kind of hurts, I have to admit.
It's a no-win condition deck. He just has double hot, cycle, Giant Skull, and poison.
And shout out Siegs, who popularized, probably, I don't know if there was a no-win condition deck that, I don't know if decks really, talking about popularity from CRL, that was the first one that I really saw pros playing a ton, was that Siegs deck back in 2018.
Yeah, it was a fun deck to use.
There was about a week and a half where people were dominating with it, then everyone figured it out.
Yeah. But it's most of the time, or like sometimes in the meta. Like there's one deck, which just is like, it's not really the best deck in the meta, but people getting surprised by it, and after that they're like, this deck is not really good.
Electro Giant to the left-hand lane. Mother Witch behind, Brawler going right to that tower. Why the lane switch here out of DiegoE?
That's a good question. Oh my.
No,
okay, I don't really know why I did that. Like, that's a good question. I would need to ask him.
But then, of course, it worked. So I guess, we got our answer there to a certain degree. And the spawner deck just not quite doing. I wonder what matchup Airsurfer suspected making this choice.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe expect maybe a Graveyard deck. But that's really interesting because he doesn't really have a win condition. I don't really know why he plays the Giant Skeleton. There were some no win conditions double hut deck, especially there was a triple Elixir Global Tournament, which people used a ton of double hut with E-buffs or with the Mega Knight Cannon Cup version. But Giant Skeleton, I don't really think it fits so well in the deck.
Two Giant Skeletons deep in enemy territory. And the Electro Giant not going to pull, a nice cage there out of DiegoE to keep that off tower.
Just about now spamming for Airsurfer at the bridge, and Lightning Age was enough.
GG, well played, all tied up at 1, and I would be very, very curious to figure out what Airsurfer thought he was going to face in game number 2. And yes, for those of you watching, this is dual mode, and for those of you who are watching right now, my co-caster is none other than SK Gaming's finest in Morton, who there's his link to his Twitter in the chat, and of course his Twitter goes to all the things on YouTube in both English and German, by the way. And let's go ahead and I'm just gonna YouTube, look up Morton's YouTube to give you guys the exact count here on what's happening with Morton. I'm sure you know it, but I just want to see it myself here, this exact count as we go. Looking up Morton Royale, 109,000 subs in English, and what are we at in German right now, Morton?
I don't know. I don't really take care of the numbers every day, but think 112,000.
That's crazy. Yeah, here we go. 112. So Morton has 100K subs on channels in 2 different languages, folks. So that's those 2 languages cover a lot of the world. Sorry on Espanol, Morton's not speaking that yet.
Not yet.
But is there an Espanol channel in the works?
I don't know, man. I would love to learn Spanish, but I think it's a good language to learn. You kind of need it.
Sure.
Especially in the Clash Royale community, it helps a lot, but it's hard to learn as well.
Yeah, my language skills are minimal. My sister, fluent in Spanish, and not gringo fluent, but fluent in Spanish. My grandmother grew up in Argentina. My sister kills it. My mom had me take French in high school, and I don't know that either. So there you go. But what I do know, game number 3 on its way. DiegoE, top of your screen. Airsurfer at the bottom. And maybe DiegoE, please tell me DiegoE didn't just go with copy deck here. Doesn't look like it, and this is going to be maybe a bit of a rough one for Airsurfer.
This is bait. And now it's going to be interesting to see what DiegoE plays. If he has Furnace plus Fire Spirit plus Log plus Barbarian Barrel, this will be tough.
You think he's running Furnace, Barbarian Barrel, Fireball, Fire Spirit, Log?
Could be. Okay, that would be a bit too much, but let's see.
He logs this right now.
Oh.
Of course, none of the direct counters in cycle that time, so despite the situation, Airsurfer out with a pretty early lead here.
Yeah, like double bait, which you saw like 10,000 times in different variations. But it's still solid. Like even with Fire Spirit being meta, it's not like bait is dead. Especially in duels format.
Yeah, so...
And yeah, I just remembered, I think Diego used he used in the first game Fire Spirit, so smart pick by Airsurfer. That Fire Spirit is out of the deck selection.
And that's part of the part of the process here, is making sure you're keeping an eye on everything, which is, you know, one of the big things we're calling people a lot for is to put dual mode more effectively in the game, which, you know, honestly, it would be nice from a content standpoint, but the one drawback there is that, at least in its current form, dual mode does not allow you to sub out cards between games. You have to lock in your 4 decks beforehand, so kind of a 50-50 on that one.
Yeah, kind of. Like, also duels is like, I feel like it's really like still complicated for players to get used to.
Princess does her work on the right-hand side, 1847, final minute, double elixir on its way. Barrel going to be in with Skeleton Barrel high, so Bar Barrel has to come out, goes to the outside. Knight goes back to pick up a little bit more damage here. Skeleton Barrel comes out, E-Wiz down in response, and no protection for that Princess, but will be protection for the Dark Goblin. Doesn't matter because Fireballs will go past whatever you put in front of them.
It's so interesting to see like huts over and over and over, but this is going to be most likely a graveyard deck from Diego, like double hut graveyard. As long as Airsurfer is able to kill all the huts, he should win the game.
And when you talk about killing all the huts, is it just because, I mean, let's talk about this, right? Because this is an interesting question for a lot of players.
Yeah.
Is this the idea? Is try to find the Princess onto the high hut and then Fireball the low hut, or there's no Fireball, there's no spell here for Airsurfer?
I think the most important thing is kind of like trying to be aggressive. Like, if you always need to make like a positive trade out of the hut. So if your opponent is playing the huts, you have like 2 decisions. First of all, you try to kill the hut with the Princess, as Airsurfer did, or otherwise you kind of try to get damage. Like that you kind of punish the hut for that. If you don't do anything from them, you kind of will lose the game over. But as you guys see, like Airsurfer is doing a great job like protecting his Princess, and like Diego can't really do anything against the Princess. If he fireballs it, there's just another Princess, and as long as Airsurfer is playing well like that, he should be in a good spot. Great prediction.
Very, very nicely played. Princess does get onto that Furnace in the middle. Final 80 seconds here.
Yeah. And the Princess is doing like good work done. Like Princess is like a key card for Airsurfer.
It is one of the legendaries I don't have maxed. So I've really never played bait. It's one of the archetypes that has never, I never spent time on it in a classic or anything or in a grand, and never really played bait here. But one of these days maybe I'll get the Princess to her max level. At the moment, though, we are seeing max level play out of Airsurfer with the Princess. Final 50 seconds, triple elixir now flowing. 805 is the damage on the right-hand side, and you can see, just as Morton was talking about, Airsurfer targeting the huts more than targeting damage at this stage.
Yeah, because he knows he has a damage advantage, and especially with just Diego having Fireball, Skeleton Army is getting a ton of value, and if he's going to Fireball the Skeleton Army, he can just play a Dark Goblin, and so Diego would love to have a poison here.
Well, no poison in hand at the moment, and 2 Princesses on the board, 2 Dark Goblins, and oh, look at that. Oh. And the Barb Barrel gets eaten by the Skarmy, insult to injury.
Oh.
What a game here by Airsurfer.
Yeah, he played perfect, as expected. If you see him running bait and cycle decks, there's like not going to be any mistakes.
And there you have it. 805 is the number, and that's the win for Airsurfer. GG, well played. A very, very nice overall set from DiegoE, but despite the second game stumble from Airsurfer with a very strange deck choice, the win overall for Airsurfer.
Yeah, he played well, and I think that I think if he plays his best, he will win the group.
Yeah, definitely has a very good shot at that one. Airsurfer at his best is pretty frightening. Christian Santana saying on the YouTube chat, Rich, what would you do if you ever made top 1 on ladder? I wouldn't do anything because I'd be dead because someone would have replaced me and be playing from my body as like an alien robot controller or something. I don't know. But I would get a private investigator to find out who's impersonating me in order to push ladder because, I'll tell you this right now, guys. If you ever see me, I'll expand it. Top 200 on ladder. I won't say top 1,000 because I won't say never, although I should say never. But if you ever see me make top 200 on ladder, report me for account sharing because I have definitely not made that. That's impossible for me. But someone who's done pretty well on ladder overall, my buddy Morton. It's interesting that ladder is the core now of competitive gameplay. For a long time, ladder was like kind of separated in a large way from competitive. Do you enjoy that ladder is part of how they field CRL?
No. I'm not really like, I feel like ladder is really stressful. I don't really enjoy playing it that much, but I mean, like finishing top 1,000, like honestly, like it's really easy. Like for a good player, finishing top 1K shouldn't be a problem at all. So I'm fine with that. But like, am I enjoying ladder like as much as playing competitive? Not really.
So that's an interesting question. I still notice that you still push pretty high up in ladder. Like you don't just qualify and be done.
Yeah.
Are you going to like maybe back off a bit once you know you're guaranteed for Worlds, or are you just you're like, hey, might as well go hard there as well?
I feel like I always have like always people expect me to push, so like it's great content for the stream also, like for like YouTubers in general, because there's like not really much you can do besides playing ladder and doing challenges. And also, yeah, for sure right now the CL points are important. But also it's great content, people enjoying it, and I also have like always like the thing to myself and saying, yeah, I mean, what should I do besides playing Clash Royale, right? So I need to push ladder, and I always have like the expectation for myself like to finish high.
It's one of those things where it's I think everyone here. Oh, was that just? Oh, I don't know. Okay, well, I just made Twitch go wacko. Well, that was fun over there. Was that ban deserved? Twitch, weigh in. Okay, you temporary banned him. I modded someone and they immediately banned someone on Twitch, so that's fun. How old is Clash? 5 years. Okay, so back to the ladder conversation. I think you're expressing a lot of emotion that a lot of people have, which is that that Clash Royale ladder is something that you feel compelled to play even if it makes you hurt.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like we're all saying, man, I don't want to play ladder, but at the end we're all playing ladder, so.
Yeah, I think pretty much everybody does say that they're like, I'm done with ladder, but in the end. And guys, I meant to switch to, we'll do a switch between games now. Once we come out of this game, we'll do our second of 3 debut pairs today. And for those of you who are new to the channel, I love sunglasses. And I love these sunglasses in particular. So, welcome to the stream, folks. Here we go. Pigs to the left-hand side. Fireball bait for Boss up against the much-requested Pompeo. And, oh boy, that's a lot.
That's not what was expected. I think he was expecting to see, like, another wicked, like... I don't really think I expect to see Mega Knight from Pompeo here. Oh!
Okay. That's a good game called there by Boss. And you understand why. That hurt. That hurt quite a bit.
It was unnecessary. I don't know. Like... I don't know, like, if he lagged or just got nervous or just misplaced it. Like, I don't know, but this is most likely it now. I don't really think there's any way to come back this, especially against Mega Knight and like a similar deck. Yeah, right. Oh man, it's interesting. Like Mega Knight, I'm playing mid ladder, and I played Pigs this last season, and there's just so much Mega Knight, and so many decks you don't expect too. There's sometimes you're like Mega Knight's in here, and then sometimes you're like, why is there Mega Knight suddenly
in every single deck that I face. Ladder's not rigged, though.
Yeah, for sure I get the point. Like, if I see my comments, like, if I talk about, like, buffs and nerfs, I'm always saying, like, man, Mother Witch needs a nerf, and this card needs a nerf, and everybody, like, Mega Knight needs a nerf, everybody's playing Mega Knight, it's so broken.
And here we go, Pigs to the right-hand side, smart play here by Boss, Mega Knight out of cycle, and right into some Elite Barbarians.
Yeah, and they will do... That was smart by Pompeo, because he was like, kind of expecting to go, like, to see Boss going opposite lane with the Royal Hawks, and E-buffs are just like, they're kind of good.
And to answer your question, Anthony Jazzer, what is mid-ladder? I think mid-ladder is any finish between 5,600 and below 7,000. That's what I would call mid-ladder. Especially 56 to 66 is what I would really call mid-ladder. But, you know, everyone has their own definitions.
Yeah, kind of agree on that.
Once you start getting into the 7K range, it's still ladder, but the level of play changes pretty drastically.
Yeah.
Of course, what would I know? I've never been there.
Yeah. Because then, yeah, you're facing more like meta decks. If you're on top ladder and like higher ladder, if you see one card, you already know, okay, or like two cards, you know this is going to be the deck. But if you're facing like Great Cute's Flying Machine, 5,500 trophies. At the end, they have Wizard, Skami, and Sparky, and Lava Hound.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, you know, the idea, like, you know, trying to get past that unpredictable section into more of a meta area. Then you get in the meta area, and then of course, you know, you talk about top ladder players, and you guys know the deck before you see cards because you know who's playing what most of the time.
Oh my! This is a ton of damage.
That's wild. 663 with 90 seconds left. Pigs into the left-hand side. Fireball only gets 2 piggies. Boss!
Oh, and the Barbell misses as well.
Oh, no. Boss did a great job fighting back in, but just a bit stretched too thin there at the end.
Yeah. I honestly think he could have come back this, but like 2-3 mistakes, which kind of cost him the game. Emi was playing so well after the bad start.
Yeah, that's certainly a tough one because even if you recover from a mistake and you recover to get back in the game, it still feels like the mistake might be in your head. Not to mention the damage that you gave up.
Yeah, sure.
Let's take a look at the chat here for a moment. Will we ever see someone hit 10,000 trophies? Christian Santana with the best questions. Do you think that, you know, we just had another, let's call it what it is, like an essential way, a change to the reset, Spider, there you go, a change to the reset here with trophies, which I expect is going to mean a bit of a trophy boost near the top levels of ladder. Correct me if I'm wrong there. Do you think that we're going to see someone, let's start here, is someone likely to break 9K in the next couple of months?
Yeah, 9K 1%, yes.
9K 100%. So I guess, is the creep going to eventually take us to 10,000?
That's an interesting question. I would love to see it. Would be interesting to see like 10,000 trophies from a player, but for sure there will be like new trophy records.
Is the Clash Royale app even built to handle 5 digits?
I don't know, but like right now the season just started and people are already at 7,000 trophies, so you can be sure there will be like some records.
Brad Miner in Twitch chat saying Morton will get 9K for sure. I think that's probably going to happen. Do you think you're going to do 9K this month, or will it take? First of all, do you think 9K will happen this month?
I don't think so. Like, I don't really know like this how long the season is, but it really depends. It's like really difficult to say. Like, are people pushing a ton of ladder? Like, is there like big competition? But because sometimes it's just like one guy's playing ladder, like Anaban just playing alone feels like. So the competition's not really high, but in some like matters or like some seasons, a ton of people were pushing ladder, and so the trophies were way higher than before.
That will be interesting to see if they can push up that way. LMK Furry asking, do you think the new update is good or bad? And I would say that I think we both think that it's good for the game, and we're expecting more things in the 2021 is a 3-phase plan. And I think this phase 2 of the 2021 plan is very good for the health of the game. And I think phase 3 will be an even bigger and better jump.
Yeah, if you see I think it's a really good update, progression update, fixing all the things for the casual players. But I would say it's a really it would be a good year if they would add something for content, or like for max players also. Then I would say it's a good update year.
I think we'll see it. I think we will see it. So here we go. Game number 1 went to Pompeo. We're halfway through game number 2 here. Lava Loon for Pompeo. So not the Pompeo deck, but Balloon there anyway.
P.E.K.K.A. in front of that. P.E.K.K.A, Miner, Goblin Heart.
And P.E.K.K.A does stay in front of the Mega Minion, which is at least helpful for the moment, but...
Let's see, most likely it's gonna Goblin Heart reset now. Going in with the Lava Hound in the back. So Miner is like, yeah, Miner to tank for the Spear Goblins. Also the Fisherman. Doing some work.
So pretty classic Lava Loon variant with, interesting to see both the Mega Minion and the Minions in this deck.
Yeah, it's really classic. It's like really old school.
Is this just, you know, Pompeo going with a deck that he probably has played hundreds if not thousands of games with? Or why are we seeing both Mega Minion and Minions? Why are we seeing this version of Lava Loon is I guess the big question.
That's a good question. I don't know, maybe it feels like more comfortable with the deck, maybe thinking like maybe saving like at example the Skeleton Dragons for a different deck. There could be some reasons.
Lava Hound aggressive high at the bridge. Minions gonna go work on the Fisherman. And then do they come across? And the interesting here, the Goblin Hut pulls those minions into range. Snowball not going to be able to stop it. That should be, will it be? And it is. The connection there. Pompeo gets it done in 2.
Well played.
Well played indeed. And of course, guys, nobody's eliminated. This is a round-robin stage for this event, so you'll see plenty more boss if you're a big boss fan. But right now, a big win for Pompeo to open things up. Anthony Jazar saying we just need to learn more. Need more about. I don't know what that's about, but mentions Capgun, who's a fairly talented player. So here's the big question for you, Morten, because of course, big news this month after having to work his way back into contention under a new name, obviously, but one of the top players, probably the best player to never play in CRL, in Wero, taking the #1 spot on the ladder this season. Plus or minus on chances for Wero making it into the top 8 this month.
I mean, he should do it. Like, he's so good for like such a time, for such a long time. I actually played with him. I practiced with him a lot. I think there was a plan for him going into Space Station for 2020, but I don't know why it didn't work out in the end. But I practiced a ton with him then, and he was really good. Yeah,
Trainer Luis was pretty high on that one. Yeah. Really excited about bringing Wero into that team, and didn't end up happening. Would have been an excellent addition, of course, to that squad. He's maybe like the big whale, right? That everyone always wanted to land for CRL, but couldn't get it done. And you know, I've heard various reasons why, and the big question now is how much does he end up pushing towards trying to make the top 32 this season? I don't know how far behind he is, but with the way the points work, all you need is 1 or 2 good months, and you could be right in the mix.
Yeah, especially like I don't really know if he's like that focused on competitive. More, I don't really know him like that good. Maybe he's like more like just enjoying playing ladder and not really like to compete. But he for sure has the talent, and if he's like grinding some competitive games or like practicing a bit, I know that he like all the ladder players which are finishing high with different or like with cycle decks or like fast decks like Lapocati or Samuel, Igor, they're all also good and competitive.
Yeah, a lot of those guys very specifically, and talking about things that are good. If it's good, why not be gooder? Why not be more than good? And it's time for our second pair of glasses. So let's go ahead and switch out the donkey goggles. These are called Frequent Sky Mall Shoppers, and I have never worn a pair of gooders that were not this shape, but we're going to go ahead and try these guys out. They're like aviator style. Let's go ahead and make the switch here. Let's see what these are like. Oh, these might be, hold on, let me get them situated properly. Ooh. These are different. They're big on my face, but they're kind of aviator-like. Okay. These are called the frequent Sky Mall. Oh, because they're aviators. Sky Mall, in the air. Got it. All right. I'm in. Guys, that's 2 pairs down. And you know what? I'm going to have to switch out the third pair because the third pair, it might be too OP for the day. I don't know. We'll have to find out later. We're waiting on our next matchup, and our next matchup is going to be, and we're moving to round 2 on the day. Remember, there's 2 rounds of play today. And round 2 on the day is going to be Qasim and Magma. Both guys coming off of losses the first time around. Qasim and Magma. I'm going to go on a limb out here again, Morten, that I think that on paper, Qasim should have the advantage in that matchup.
I don't agree.
Okay.
I think Magma is really good.
Well, I mean, I think pretty much everyone here is pretty darn good.
Yeah, he really good, but I think he had like once, I don't know which team, but there was like competition, I think, from Mobile Met hosted. And he swept like a team. I think it was like beating Liquid or sweeping Liquid after the World Finals, I think. And I think he's really talented, but he needs to, like, I played with him a lot. Like, I think before, like, last CL season, I played with him a lot. He was really good. I think he just needs to kind of perform now on the big stage and kind of gets it done.
That's, that was a question of that watershed moment, right? That where you turn from being good to that next level. Yeah. Is there a moment that you could pinpoint as where like you saw yourself go from being a good player to a great player, like where that changed?
I don't really think there was like any really like one point. I think it was like more about being consistent in playing tournaments and play more. I feel like it was always like small steps into the right direction.
Hey, thank you very much, Spider, for subbing there over on YouTube. So, guys, by the way, if you are watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit subscribe to my channel. And here's the link to Morten's Twitter, which, by the way, he probably has the links to his YouTube there. Go subscribe to YouTube on YouTube to Morten as well. You can come here for competitive content overall, and then go to Morten to, see someone really good play Clash Royale at a really high level and probably even more competitive content. So go get it either way. Let's see. I don't know the answer to that one. Ton Lamb, Morten Goat, says Abdullah. Wallbreaker Mega Knight, y'all still think that just a little bit OP. You don't see a lot of Wallbreaker. There's not a ton of Wallbreaker Mega Knight right now.
Yeah, I don't think it's that good right now. I think like Wallbreaker in general, not really good no matter.
What's ladder mean? Asks Osama. The main way of playing, right? So when you open up the app and you start playing Clash Royale and you hit play and there's your trophies, that's ladder. That's ladder. That's the ranking, right? When you hit battle. I don't know what Oh, here we go.
It's the boss again.
Oh, I guess they've changed the match order. It's going to be boss versus DiegoE. So I guess they're changing the match order for some reason. I'll go ahead and look into Discord and find out why. Do I play Clash of Clans? Asks Spider. And you play Clash competitively. Oh, very cool. I have played Clash of Clans. I used to play it a bunch before Clash Royale came out, and now I'm no longer really playing it much. On occasion, I do bust it out, but I'm more of a CR guy. Milf Hunter, you didn't get your YouTube notifications. That's unfortunate. Topraskin saying parle français. Je ne peux pas français. J'étudie français. That's, dude, I took 3 years of French. That's all I got. Je voudrais ouf de mayonnaise. That's what I got there for you, buddy.
E-Giant versus Hawk Rider. If the Hawk Rider player plays well, it should be kind of a free matchup for the Hawk Rider player because cycling Teslas, Firecracker is so annoying. And even if you guys think like, oh, he has Tornado and Cage against the Hawk Rider, like the game, he's not going to win the game of Hawk Riders. He's just like trying to apply the pressure with Hawk Riders that DiegoE is not really able to support his E-Giant pushes. So it's not really the goal to get Hawk Riders in the matchup. It's more about like baiting out something and just going for earthquake damage the full game.
So you heard it there, folks. Talking about those matchups, right, where you do go for that strategy. And again, to reiterate what Morten just said, in this matchup, Hog Rider is to force responses, and the damage is going to be EQ cycle in the long run. Yeah. You see the EQ cycle happening right here. What are some of the matches where a player playing this deck that Boss is playing should be making that decision, where the Hog Rider isn't the primary damage dealing?
I feel it's like most of the time against like really defensive decks like Tornado Cage. Graveyard Tornado Cage is also like a deck where like most of the time just you don't really want to build them a big graveyard push, at example. So going for the Hawk that your opponent needs to respond with a Cage, or a Tornado that they can't support it. Like same here against the E-Giant. So this is what I say is like the most matchups where you just go in for Hawks for baiting out stuff.
And Boss's Tesla cycle doing great, but it looks like he's going to have a little bit of trouble here. Does get the Ice Spirit down, but does not get the Ice Spirit down in time to deal with the Inferno Dragon. But again, Tesla back. This deck gets around so fast.
Yeah, and he had like 2 E-Giants on the field, and now they like even Elixir, like just 1 E-Giant hit is just insane.
Here we go. Sudden Death Overtime on its way, 2096, and this Hog now going to put some pressure. Cage does come out.
Yeah.
And DiegoE going to have to play a little bit in this right-hand lane. Probably wants to support so much Elixir. We'll see if he decides. There we go. That's a nice nade out of Diego.
Yeah, but no, Hog Rider is coming down.
And that's going to be nothing. And that was a smart Hog Rider there, knowing Nado was out of cycle.
And Cage also. And yeah, Firecracker is like the most annoying thing for Diego. He can't really kill it. And if he's going into Tornado that, Boss can apply again pressure with the Hog Rider. Good Hog Rider. Tesla's stacking up, and always the nice thing is you always want to go first for your Tesla, then you want to apply pressure with the Hog Rider, because then you get trigger back to another Tesla.
Nado pulls everything in here. Is there going to be a double down? Probably not. And Firecracker stays on the board. That's absolutely brutal there for DiegoE.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see. Look at the Firecracker. Like, Boss is doing a great job.
So this is a good game so far and a good matchup right now for Boss. He's playing it very, very well here, staying in it very nicely. What's the secret for DiegoE as we go to triple?
He needs to kind of get a good lighting out. Like, try to get a good lighting. Maybe even try to predict predict the opponent going in for the Tesla. And 3 Firecrackers. And also getting Mother Witch value. Like, try to snipe Skeletons, try to snipe the Knight, at example. Like, just to get Hoggies out of there to support the E-Giant push. But honestly, like, if Boss is playing it well, like, especially in triple exam, it feels like it's even harder for him.
Might not be the 4th of July yet, but the American putting a lot of Firecrackers on the board. Now 2 again. We already had 3 at one point. Nado pulling it all together right back to Tesla.
This is... like, there's no way he's gonna win this one.
And Rhett the 8th in the YouTube chat saying, bruh, bet these guys really aren't that good. Well, Rhett the 8th, here's the great part about that. I'm going to go ahead and throw the link for you there in the chat right now. Clash Royale League 2021, which has a $1.6 million prize pool, is open to literally anybody. All you got to do is finish top 1,000 ladder, and then go through that little bracket round, the Swiss bracket, and then go through the top 32, and then, of course, win the top 8. But, dude, it's open for you. Let me hit that link again, in case you didn't get it there. Guy who thinks he's as good as the pros. Prove it. This is the great... Here's what I'll say, Morton, about 2021 that I love so much. This is the put up or shut up year. If you think you're good enough to compete with Morton, with Mohamed Light, with Samuel Basoto, with Ruben, with Line, with all these best players in the world, push top 1,000 ladder and do it. Otherwise, stay on the bench there, buddy. Because there's no excuses in 2021. Let's go.
Yeah, just the excuse. I don't have level up cards, so I can't push top 1k.
Yeah, go ahead and get it done. Go ahead and get it done. Love your shades. Link, please, says Saketh Ram. Dude, there's a link right there in the chat right now. Faith is literally level 11. Well, the other thing, too, is the other part about Wero pushing... Did Wero get number 1 with a level 12?
No, but he actually was like really high with a level 12 account as well. I think his level 12 account was top 100 as well.
So crazy. That's so crazy.
I think Anaban finished number 3 once with a level 12 account.
That's so crazy.
Yeah,
Rich, if you can pick to choose just to see one BO5, who would it be? One BO5, who would I want to watch? I'm going to take Morton out of the conversation because he's here, and I don't want to make him feel embarrassed as I talk about all the Morton BO5s that I want to see. One BO5 that I would want to see. Interesting. You know what, Morton? I'll throw that question to you. If you had one BO5 that you could watch, and it was your last BO5 ever, who would you want to watch?
Airsurfer versus Mohamed Light.
Okay. Well, the lucky part here is at some point in NA we're going to see that. Or at some point in this competition we might see that one. Why Mo versus Airsurfer?
I think I like similar players. I like to watch fast cycle gameplay. And I like Mohamed is like really, really good right now. And I think Airsurfer, I think if anyone is like could beat him, I think it's Airsurfer right now.
A lot of people in the chat saying Mo Light versus Ruben. And it's going to be interesting. It's very curious to see like how people prepare for World Finals because, a lot of players are playing very, very well. But, man, the level of talent in that World Finals, you look at the top 6 alone. And, again, we went over earlier, but that top 6 in the leaderboards for CRL right now, Mo Light, Samuel, Anaban, Hazard, Viper, Morton. And then 7, 8, 9, 10 right now is Ruben, Line, Sandbox, and Lucas. Oh, yeah, and there's Airsurfer at number 11. So... it's pretty wild.
Yeah, and by the way, both got a ton of damage with the nice E-barbs.
Is it okay? Can you say nice E-barbs? Is there even a way to? Is that really appropriate to say?
I mean, Supercell loves them.
And so double hut again. We're seeing this is the third time we've seen double hut today.
And this, once again, DiegoE is playing the stack. He lost to Airsurfer with the stack. Playing it again, and he got an awful start. Like with this stack is like graveyard control, double hard. You don't want to be behind. You just want to stack your furnaces and like the furnace, the goblin hut, and single double extra time, and triple you want a graveyard, spam them. But this is not going to work out, so you need to change your strategy up.
Yeah, I mean that's all fine and dandy unless you give away 2,000 damage in the opening minutes, or a whole tower down in the opening minutes.
Yeah, I don't really think there's any way you can come back. The one graveyard was way too aggressive in single, and this is what I see like a ton of people are doing with graveyard, being too aggressive in single legs at the time. Even if you think you have a legs advantage, even if you think you have a cycle advantage, just play another hut. Like, just play a goblin hut instead of a graveyard because it's like a safer play.
E-barbs. That's an interesting timing on the graveyard there. I guess you have to go graveyard at that point because you're so far behind. So, you time your graveyard right into some E-barbs. Is what it is at that point. And that's a quick 2-0 there for Boss. So those of you who are Boss fans, nice win here for the content creator.
Yes.
How can I play Someone Tell Me, says Zboon. Well, get your phone, download Clash Royale. Make an account, name it something cool, and then hit battle. There you go. Dude, I'm so helpful. Rich versus Ash 2 with Morton and Boss commentating, says Lil Nimbus, as the match he wants to see. I don't know if you know this, Morton, but there's only one BO5 on my channel that I'm playing in, and it's what we call, I call it, most matches are pro versus pro. I call this one Schmo versus Schmo, me versus Ash. Playing a BO5, and I think we went the full 5 games, and I did take the dub after. But we went one game with all toxic decks. It was pretty fun. Probably the most fun I've had playing Clash Royale. Definitely the most fun I've had playing Clash Royale on stream in my life. But yeah, that was. I wouldn't say the gameplay was great, but I would say it was fun to watch. Yeah, Schmo versus Schmo. Yes, Lil Nimbus. That's the name there. Let's see. Someone's saying Pokimane. I don't know if Poke plays Clash Royale. This is a question that I've asked Morton sometimes when I'm doing my pre-CRL interviews. But if you could play Clash Royale 2v2, and your partner would be someone from history, right? And so not a Clash Royale pro, but I mean someone from history overall, right? Like Napoleon, for example.
Yeah.
You get. Let's say that let's like frame this that they know how to use a phone. So even if it's like Moses, he knows how to use a phone, but you have to train them up. Who do you pick as your 2v2 partner?
Albert Einstein.
Is it just because he's another mad scientist?
Yeah.
That's fair.
I would know how he thinks.
Robert Palmatier saying Jimi Hendrix. Omotayo picked Albert Einstein already. Anthony Jazar saying Shaq. I think Shaq's He'd have to play on like a 10-inch iPad. Shaq's hands are much too big. Sun Tzu says H's Explosive Studios. Stephen Hawkins says Christian Santana. Gary Kasparov says CW Ross. That's a good choice there. CW Ross. John Locke. I'd go with Jean-Jacques Rousseau over John Locke there, Spider. So first debut of Witch today in the in our matchups, and I have to admit I'm a slight bit surprised, but if we're gonna see it, not surprised to see it from this particular player.
I get flashbacks from the 2019 meta when everybody was using Mega Knight Witch, Wall Breaker. That was like one of the best decks.
Yeah, it was like it wasn't execution. Wasn't that the execution meta too?
Yeah, it was just insane.
That meta was. I don't know if it was the worst one as a caster, but it was definitely up there. At least the games were still pretty good. But I think the worst meta as a caster was the Barb Hut meta, when it was literally like every single game was Barb Hut versus Barb Hut Graveyard. Oh my lord, I hated casting that.
I can understand it.
Well, how exciting can you say? Well, there's another Barb Hut.
Yeah. Barb Hut isn't the funniest card to watch as well.
So a quick update for you guys as to the matchups. We are going to do some of these matches off stream today because of timing to make sure that we stay on our schedule for the day. Kazeem and Magma played off stream, and that match has finished. That was a 2-0 win for Magma. So Magma now does get the win in that matchup.
Which, like, if you were, it's like typical back playing off meta decks.
Who remembers the P.E.K.K.A. double Prince meta? Ugh. Someone asked earlier if there's a deck that's Goblin Giant but not Goblin Giant Sparky that's viable, and I guess the next best choice would have to be Goblin Giant double Prince.
Yes, Goblin Giant double Prince is a really solid deck.
Tio Rio asking if Lattack's game will be on stream. I'm not sure which matches are planned to be off stream here, but I will let you know as soon as I know. Cannon cart down.
Interesting game so far.
Yeah, this is a curious one, right? Because lots of ways to hold on to that Mega Knight, obviously, with the cannon cart, with the Knight. We saw the Barb Barrel get some penetration behind.
Yeah.
And you have lots of ways, of course, for Betfas to hold on, as we're seeing there, against the wall breakers.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about the methodology here for Bag, is it defend and try? I mean, this is a really aggressive play out of him. So I guess he's going with something very different than what I thought.
I feel like Bag knows that he needs to get some damage done in now, because triple Mother Witch Graveyard, it's always hard to deal with. So he knows he needs to put the pace on and get some damage in.
So here we go. Pace about to happen. Final 70 seconds. Triple Elixir 10 seconds away. Colossus Sipe saying Royale versus C. McHugh. Do you want to see for a BO5? Someone hankering for the good old days there, I guess. Miner goes into the Mother Witch. Oh, that's a nice set of arrows behind it.
The Mega Knight actually splashed the tower. That's a ton of damage.
And that is a huge advantage for Bag against Betfas here, who've been holding on very, very nicely. Triple Elixir on its way. Mega Knight now in front, and that Witch doesn't die to Fireball, by the way. I don't know if Bag knows that one. Probably does. And the Miner goes behind the cannon cart. Now the Barb Barrel does penetrate. This one holds on well, but it feels like this is going to be too little too late for Betfas.
Yeah, I think Bag did exactly what he had to do. Being aggressive with the Mega Knights, keeping up the pressure, and then one mistake from Betfas kind of cost him the game.
And that's pretty well set up. This is not going to get enough damage in time.
Yeah. And
Bag with a very, very solid lead and solid win. And now just creating a party there in the middle of the bridge. Guys, everyone hang out. Hug each other. This is going to be a big scrum there at the bridge. Not going to be enough for the Graveyard to come in. Fireball gets down, which will be enough in defense with the Miner. GG, well played. Game number 1 goes to Bag.
Well played.
Well played indeed. Let's go ahead and take a look at the chat. Well, let me just pop back out here for a second. Saketh Ram, I believe, was asking what these shades are called. I don't know if these are a black frame. They're kind of like a bluish frame for these ones, which are pretty cool. And these ones are called the Frequent Sky Mall Shoppers. I know you were saying you wanted to get a pair yourself, so there you go. That's what they're called. Let's see. Morton versus Elsiop. That's a fun one. I mean, that's actually a big question. Like, is there a player that I feel like you've probably had at least a BO3, if not a BO5, against pretty much everybody in the scene by this point.
Yes, I think so. I think I've played against everyone at least once.
Yeah, I was trying to think of, like, is there anybody you haven't actually faced?
No, I don't really know. I don't really think there's anyone I didn't face yet.
Well, you know, when you play competitive for 4 years, it seems like it's going to happen. Let's see. Cuckoo saying, tell Morton that Cuckoo from Maple Miners says hi. Okay. Well,
hello.
I've done that now. Morton, I just want to tell you that I say hi, by the way. I don't know if I've done that yet. But hello.
What's up?
Firecracker down, Valk in front.
It's gonna be the Giant Skeleton Royal Giant deck once again. I think Qasim played it before, then he lost. Oh my.
Oh boy.
And it's doing more damage to a tower now.
Yeah.
It's a ton of damage.
Betfas having a rough one here in this second game. I am not casting all the days, guys. In fact, I am only casting North America on Wednesdays. So we have 2 broadcasts a day. I believe it's Tuesday through... I think it's like we go Tuesday, Thursday. What just happened? What just happened? Hold on.
I don't know. The game crashed.
Well, do you have it on your side?
No.
Oh, you know what? It wasn't my feed. It was the actual game inside.
Yeah, the game
game crashed. I thought my feed died again. It was the game. Okay.
No.
Okay.
It was the game.
You know, it's because they have the same apps I have on there, right? I was like, oh, there's Clash Royale, there's Wild Rift, there's Brawl Stars. I have all those things. But here we go. Back into the game. Have I heard about Best NA? Yep. Have you played Best NA, Morton?
I mean, on ladder like 100 times already.
But never a BO3 or BO5.
No, I don't think he's competing in CL. Oh, there's some mistakes.
Hog and Valk right behind. Fishboy is going to say no to that Hog Rider.
Let's see. Musketeer high to snipe the...
Is this Fortnite? Asked Lil Nugget. Yeah, this is the new Fortnite update. I don't know if you know that this is what Fortnite looks like right now. So,
changed a bit.
Yeah. It's a weird choice, direction for Epic to go, but to make their game look exactly like a game that already exists on a different platform. But yeah, this is it. Log knocks back the Royal Giant. Fishboy being held on. Nice Valk up front to catch. Hog Rider trying to sneak on through, but it does feel like the EQ cycle might be a bit too much. EQ opposite direction. Hog's going to get one shot. Hog gets enough there, 1067. Does Bag go for EQ cycle here, or does he keep pressuring with Royal Giants?
I think he's going to keep up the pressure with Royal Giant. Because right now,
Oh, that's a nice Musketeer. That's a really nice Musketeer. Does Log stop the Royal Giant? It does. EQ in. Hog trying to sneak on by. Delivery late. Fire Spear working on the Hog. One shot will get in, but not two. 8:03 remaining. And this is feeling like the beginning of the end here.
Yeah.
For Betfas.
This should be it for Bag.
And the timing against these Teslas. EQ cycle in, and I think Betfas knows it. He's going to go ahead and low Hog behind the Valk, try to put the Valk on roller skates and get some protection for the Hog Rider. But the Valk gets stopped up high. EQ in, Hog gets pulled away. Log trying to do something, but that's going to be a GG, a well played. Bag taking the game in two.
He played really well. GG.
GG indeed. GG, well played. Cuckoo's asking if we're going to see you play more classic log bait in the future. My guess is at some point we'll see you play classic log bait, but probably only for content is my guess.
Yeah, I mean, kind of wrong timing after the Fire Spills buff. I mean, I'm not as good with log bait anymore as I used to be. Like with classic log bait, like with double barrel bait, I still really like to play MCL as well, but
I don't really think it's. I wanted to have a deck which I'm able to finish like top 10 with, and I don't think bait is the deck.
Yeah, that's yeah, that's unfortunate. But also, like, the game has to evolve. The game has to move forward, you know?
Yeah.
So let's take a look at the chat. Let's see some questions here. What were tournaments like before the after overtime burnout? Annoying. I think I'll say this. You know, you talk about changes to the game that I think were fun. That at first were not well received, but in my opinion, have fundamentally made the game at its core better. I think in the end that Triple Elixir, despite our protestations at the time, ended up being better for the game. And I think that the tiebreaker thing is 100% better for the game than draws.
Yeah, I agree. I agree on both.
Yeah, draws were super annoying.
Yes.
And
against Expo players.
Against Expo players, yeah, right? Hasiel versus Lattack will be taking place off stream, guys, so I'll update you as soon as I have that one. Who won the Mayweather versus Paul fight? Both of them, because they made a bunch of money off of dummies ordering it. There you go.
Yes.
If you ordered that, shame on you. You did everyone who complained about ordering that fight.
Yeah.
You know, what's the Latin for buyer beware? You should have been very aware of that one. Why is Elixir leaking allowed in tournaments? What?
Why would it not be allowed? What should you do about that? Just disqualifying because somebody's waiting.
That's really funny. I don't even know what that means. Explain the goblin drill. You know a miner? You know a goblin barrel?
Yeah.
There you go. I explained it to you. It was a tie, but Mayweather landed more punches. It was a work, guys. It was an exhibition match that you all paid too much money for.
Yeah.
So there you go. Have you ever played Clash of Clans? Yes. Join Clan the Punisher? No. Who's fighting right now? Well, I don't know. Nate Diaz is fighting on this weekend. I'll be watching that one for sure. Do I think Goblin Drill will be used a lot in High Ladder? That's a question for my friend Morton. Morton, when will Goblin Drill be used a lot in High Ladder?
Oh my, these are prediction questions. Like in 1 month, everybody is going to clip that and saying, Morton, you are wrong. At the start, yes, 1%. But let's see. I think there are going to be some decks, but it's hard to say, right? It's hard to say. Like, people are going to try it out, and let's see if it works.
Yeah, we will see it. Let's see. Player versus deck. How much does each factor into the matchup? Ask Morton. Well, I can answer some of that question for you right there, Saketh Ram. Up until a certain point, it's the player 100% of the time, right? You know, depending on the gap. And the closer you get to the top, the more that that gap gets smaller. And then eventually you get to like 2 players at the top of their game, and matchup is certainly a critical factor, but you can't take the human equation out of the game.
Yeah, otherwise, like, there's still the same players on top, which you would expect. If the game would be just about matchups, why are there? Why is Moment Light there? Why is Samuel always on top?
Yep. Yeah, that's a very, very good question that I think answers itself.
Yeah. So interesting to see the new Graveyard deck. I don't know if people ask me, I play Graveyard, what should I sub in for the Ice Wizard, and yeah, the Bomber. Just put in the Bomber instead.
It's interesting, you know. It's obviously same speed. Now hold on, this isn't running NATO though, is it?
Yeah, it should be NATO and
I guess
Graveyard
it's still splashy.
last cards. Yeah,
it's still splashy.
It's still splashy.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Goblin Barrel plus Expo, says Furnace Guy. Well, I hope not. Is the Fire Spirit a filler because it's only 1 elixir, or do I need a filler? It's not a filler card because the Fire Spirit hits so hard.
Yeah.
1 elixir cards are not filler cards. I think the best advice that you can get on 1 elixir cards is learn to use your cycle cards for their technical purposes and not just as cycle cards.
Yeah, that's right. For sure, in some scenarios you can just use them to cycle back to another cards, but you always should try to get value out of them.
Question in the chat here: what games do you play besides CR? Do you play any games to like relax from the pressure of Clash Royale?
I don't have time for that, honestly. I'm just playing Clash Royale. I would love to try the new Supercell games if they come out, but right now I don't. I'm like streaming so much and creating content and playing the game like this. Not really a game which I can play.
On his grind, folks. You heard it here first. Electro Giant left-hand lane. It's the lead on the right-hand side, but about to switch to the left-hand side. Has that Electro Giant just the damage, and that NATO. Oh, that's a nice NATO. Pulling back to that cage, but the lightning.
Oh, what a NATO. That's
Oh, my word. Well, this was a very exciting game here. Sergio Ramos. And,
flawless.
yeah, just beautiful. Just absolutely beautiful. It hurts me to say beautiful play of the Electro Giant, but honestly it was. And Boss is valiantly holding on here, but not going to get that lightning block.
Man, Sergio played really good.
Well, I don't know if you know this, Morton, but Sergio's a world champion in Clash Royale.
That's a surprise. Maybe I should get him in my team.
That might be fun. That might be fun. I mean, you talk about iconic teams. I don't own much Clash Royale esports merchandise. I own 2 pieces. I own the Team Queso World Finals Championship jersey. Very sorry to Morton, but it is just a fire jersey. But the other thing that I own is I own 2 versions of it because I ordered my own, and then SK sent me one. But the World Finals T-shirt of you, Sam, Javi, and Sergio. So you live in rarefied air in the Rich Slayton Hall of Fame there, Morton.
Great to hear.
Mm-hmm. Hasiel Lattack currently off stream. I'm gonna wait to see if we get an update on their result here in a moment. Let's see. Let's go take a look at the chat here. A lot of pogs coming out right now in the chat. Let me go see if I see what they mean, if they're referencing anything. No more questions. Time for spam. Okay. I don't even know what's happening here. Is the chat going crazy today? What did I miss? This Furnace guy, which, by the way, everyone hates Furnace right now. Let's see. Anything important? Hudson. There's a lot of pogs. We're pogging. All right. Good to know. Good to know, chat. We're waiting on our next matchup after Sergio takes that one. Let me go take a look at the schedule here and see where we are in it. Betfas and Bag we saw, Sergio and Boss we saw. It should be DiegoE and Flash up next. After that, we'll have Pompeyo Airsurfer and Anaban YoSoyRick to round out the day.
Yeah, it's still 1-0 for Sergio. So
still 1-0 for Sergio. 1-0.
Yeah.
I'm here, guys. All right. We're getting close to. So here's a question. I had a final pair that was planned for the day, but it feels like it might be too much for this stream. I might need to do a different pair. Nerf Royal Giant, says someone in the chat. Question for Morton. If you had the time, would you ever autograph the SK jersey that people order?
I would. Sure.
Yeah.
I would have the time.
Community should push for no elixir leaking at the beginning of matches. Once elixir masses out, it starts dropping. I don't know why.
I don't really think it's annoying to see elixir leaked, or it's bad for the game.
You do or don't?
I don't think it's bad for the game.
Yeah, I don't. I was like, am I about to learn something crazy here that I didn't expect from work? You know what? I had one pair planned for the day, but I'm gonna have to save that for the next stream and go with a different pair, which is also fire. So we'll do that during our next match break. Can you buff Magic Archer? Totally. I'm on it. I'll buff it right now.
Do it.
What do you want? Do you want it to shoot 2 things at once?
Please. 2 elixir.
Let's see. There's a question somewhere. Ask your question again. Oh, wait. Hold on. I think I found it. What do I think is more OP? Electro Giant or Royal Giant? I'm going to say, without question, Electro Giant.
Yeah. Yes. I think Electro Giant is OP itself.
Yeah.
I think Royal Giant is more about the deck construction, which is really strong, about the support cards, Fisherman, Heal Spirit, Elite Barbarians, but the E-Giant itself is broken.
So Boss going with Lava Miner here, or Lava Loon Miner in game number 2. And I'm guessing, I don't remember what the spell was that Pompeo played in game number 1. But I'm guessing it's either Fireball. I mean, actually, he could be going Lightning with this version, but with the Skeleton Dragons, it feels more like it's going to be either Fireball or Poison.
Or arrows.
Or arrows, you're right.
But I would say it's gonna be arrows because I feel like he used fireball in the first game. So I think it's gonna be arrows.
Hudson Lewis, can I shout you out? No, Hudson Lewis, I cannot shout you out, Hudson Lewis. Boss sets up Lava Hound left-hand lane. Skeleton
Arrows
Dragons
up.
for Skeleton Dragons.
So,
So it is Fireball
Miner.
for Sergio.
Yeah. And Zap fireball and Zap arrows from boss. Sergio's gonna take this.
He's taking it very, very nicely as well. Going to get a connection on the left-hand side. And that's just not quite enough. And Boss ran into an absolute brick wall here. Absolute brick wall. Yeah, Sergio's playing some good Clash Royale right now.
This is what we love to see.
And GG, well played. Rough outing for Boss, but Sergio playing some excellent work here. And we will be seeing, of course, more of these guys both on Friday. There might not be an English stream on Friday, guys, just letting you guys know. I'm not streaming Fridays. I don't know if they've assigned an English streamer yet for the North American region. With the way Morton's casting, maybe they'll convince him to do it. I saw a question in the chat earlier, Morton, if you're ever going to stream in English.
I mean, like a day is 24 hours. I don't know, man. I'm still human.
Let's see. Here we go. Someone at Kuko asking if Tesla gets nerfed, should Inferno Tower get buffed for buildings that target both air and ground? I don't know if Inferno Tower needs a buff. Oh, you know what? I did say I was going to do, though, end of this game, is final pair of the day. I said I would. I got a huge care package from my friends over at GoodR, and I said I would do my final pair of the day. I decided the other ones were two. We already went with one that was like off meta for the sunglasses, so we're going to go ahead and put the frequent Skywall Mall shoppers away, and we're going to switch over to... Oh, the lights are so bright with the sunglasses off. Get out of here. We're going to switch over to... these are... Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, and they actually just turned... These are so out of control. What are these called? The pineapple painkillers. All right, well, do these even count as sunglasses? Look at my eyes right now. Morton, do you see this?
Yeah, looks fresh. Interesting.
This is not my normal style, but I've clearly committed to it for these final games. So this is what we're wearing. These are totally out of my normal style. I feel like I'm like Elvis Costello with these things on. But you know what? Do these count as sunglasses? I can't even tell. I can't decide. Let's go ahead and jump into our next game here. Flash versus DiegoE. The whole world is orange right now. Let's go.
Another Hawk Rider.
You look like a dehydrated SpongeBob is hilarious. Hog Rider is central right now, I guess. Do you think that this is this still too early to use any of this data to predict what's going to happen in qualifiers?
There's going to be a ton of Hawk Rider, 100%.
Yeah. Why Hog Rider so much right now?
I feel like it's the combination between like Earthquake being really strong currently because there are going to be a ton of huts, especially like the Furnace being better, and also the stack has so much outplay potential. So pros especially really like to use it because they're like, for sure there's some bad matchups, but you can almost outplay anything.
Yeah, it's an outplay card or outplay deck.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, and also there are like some cards in it like AQ, Hawk Rider, like if you play the Firecracker version, there's like cards you don't really need in other decks. So it's like really good for dual mode.
Silent Flores saying no tasting glasses, LOL. Yeah, these ones are certainly... I don't know if these would make it into my normal rotation. I see people who would wear these well. I think that these would actually look really good on your former 2v2 partner and Sam. I think he would rock these things pretty hard.
100%.
We gotta figure out. You know, I should check up on the DMs and see if I got a response from GoodR. GoodR has responded and said they'd be happy to send you some. So we gotta find a good pair for you, and we're gonna get some stuff sent your way.
Okay.
Oh, that's fun.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too. Probably not this pair though, because as Little Nimbus says, as good as belong on Bruno Mars. And Bruno Mars, I am not.
Not yet.
Not yet. You know what? That's fair. Maybe one day. Lattack over joining the Twitch chat here. Going to sleep today, even though I'm 0-2. Still super happy. I have some games casted by the Go. Oh, thank you very much. Probably meant Morton though. We'll definitely watch the VOD tomorrow to see what I could have done better and hear what Morton had to say during the matches. Well, look, that's actually a really interesting note here. Is there's maybe some good post-game analysis that you're giving some of these guys as they go through their progression for this tournament.
That's what I did a ton of time as well. Like earlier, when I started playing competitively, like we watch my games.
What are you typically watching for?
Kind of watching for when I feel like I kind of like really good in like kind of remembering what I did in certain situations. So like sometimes I'm doing games I'm thinking like going in now or like just playing passive, and I rewatch my games I can see like kind of how much elixir I could have had or like how much elixir I had. So I'm like, okay, this was a mistake. Maybe I should have played more passive in this situation, or maybe I was up by elixir, so I had like the chance to punish the opponent for being so aggressive. And yeah, it's more about like punishing the opponents at the right time and seeing the elixir count.
Do you think elixir management is the #1 thing preventing most players from improving?
Yes, 1%. Like elixir counting is so important, especially when you play like Hawk Rider. Like if you know the opponent doesn't have elixir, you just go in with 4 elixir with the Hawk. It's like such a good move. That's what I had like the most respect. Like example, like Sergio Ramos was so good at counting elixir on stage without like nobody can tell you the elixir from the opponent. So on stage it was like harder than right now, and like Serge was so good at it.
That's really interesting. Be it that ability. I remember someone else talked about how when he talked when he was destroying all those European competitions, how Serge was talking about how everyone else would overspend on defense. So you think about like the elixir tracking, and then thinking about shout out OJ positive elixir trades. Yeah. That's two of the things that make him one of the tops of all time. Yeah, it's an interesting question here as we go into this final 30. Let's go ahead and dial in here because it's pretty close. Yeah. 867 to 793. Pigs high will split, and the delivery does not do a whole lot. Those pigs will put some pressure on the left-hand side, so now dual lane problems for Flash, although he's focusing just in that one lane, 621. Is the EQ log cycle enough to win this out?
No, it's not.
Oh, that's going to be a lot of pigs on the right-hand side. That's a GG. That's a well played. It's a little bit too far behind. DiegoE has had a rough day today, but does get it done right now. Kevin, it depends on how hard you throw it. There you go. You think I haven't heard that one? Are tower abilities bad for the competitive scene? That's an interesting question. That's been a thing. Man, these sunglasses, these aren't even, these things on my face are so intense. I might have to do one. I might have to do a 4th pair today just to get these off my face. Because, boy, these are a lot, especially on me. Where was? Oh yeah. So the question from Frank, and I've seen this question a few times today in chat, Morton. The tower abilities has been something people have talked about a lot as a potential way to expand the game, add new content, things like that. What do you think about that idea? Like, the ability to switch your King Tower from shooting arrows to shooting less powerful but splash damage to shooting like zap type stuff or frost type stuff. Do you think that that's a compelling shift in the game? Does it add more depth? Does it become potentially offset some of the rock, paper, scissors aspects, or does it make it worse?
Yeah, I would say it's interesting. Like, depends on how we're doing that. Because, like, for me, it's hard to imagine something like tower things because I don't really know what I should think about it. But I think it could be interesting. And for sure, if Clash Royale is adding that, I don't really think the main thing for Clash Royale is not the esports thing in general. It's like more about the casual players. So if the casual players would enjoy them, I think it would enjoy it. I think it's the most important thing. But I would say, like, it's not like Clash Royale esports would be dead because of tower skins. I would say like maybe need some time to adapt to that, but I think it could be interesting as well.
So this is really interesting. I want to kind of stop with this or stop at this conversation because you said something really compelling there. That an opinion that a lot of competitive players don't share, which is that the most important thing is that the casual player is enjoying and engaging the game. I think I know what your reasoning here is, but I'd be curious to hear you explain to elaborate on that, because that's, I think, something that is maybe not an opinion held by a lot of your cohort.
I mean, it's because, like, if you're a YouTuber, you always know, like, you get the opinion from the casual players as well, and I see them, like, every time, like, complaining about stuff in the chat. And without a great player base in the game, there won't be esports anymore. Like, you need to have, like, a player base for, like, casual players which are just playing the game regularly, and if they enjoy the game, I feel like this helps esports as well. Even if it doesn't look like that, there's going to be more prize pools, so also has more money and stuff. So I feel like if players aren't really enjoying something, this also hurts the competitive scene in some ways. And if you're just bringing something for the competitive scene and it's just like really bad for casual players, I don't really think like long term it's the right decision.
Fair enough. I like it. What do you call a giraffe that can't hear? Spider, this better be an appropriate joke if I'm reading the setup here on the Twitch chat. Speaking of setup, right now DiegoE set up pretty well with a slight, let's call it a full elixir advantage almost. And Flash, we've seen a lot of Mortar Miner and a lot of like kind of interesting variations on Miner control today.
Yeah, I feel like Mortar Miner is like right now. If you wanna play Miner control, this is your go-to Miner control deck with the Mortar. As a secondary win condition, and Mortar is one of the best buildings in the game.
Royal Giant up high, Musketeer working on the support troops instead, though, so not what Diego wanted to see, but that's a good... You see the attempted pickup of the Fisherman with the Valkyrie there, a half step too late, and that worked out very, very well for the former Cream player.
Yeah, well played. He exactly knew that Flash didn't have his Modern Cycle, so he went really aggressive with the Royal Giant, and Flash wasn't able to predict the Fisherman there.
Here we go, final 10 seconds regulation. Valkyrie in front of the Musketeer. Fireball clears that out. That Valk might have been a bit of an overcommitment there from Flash, but did force out the Fireball, so 50-50 there. Royal Giant down with a half health, third health. What's that guy? Fishboy. Fisherman behind. You know, it's you cast for so long doing so many of these things. Every once in a while, Morton, the word just isn't there.
I know how you feel.
Now, do you do most of your YouTubing like are you recording from streams to your YouTube, or you do it separately from your streams?
It really depends. Like sometimes, like if I push the number 1 in the world live, I'm just gonna upload it. But most of the time, I'm trying to mix up the content.
So here's a YouTuber question for you. What's the most times you've re-recorded the intro to a video?
I don't know, man. Like for my English channel especially, like 15 times I think. Sometimes, like especially if I'm like recording after my stream, like streaming 5 hours and then doing an intro in English, sometimes it's really, really hard. This gets really frustrating.
Yeah, English is my native language, and I have done the same. You should see I would love to see just like a collection of YouTuber outtakes. Speaking of outtakes, big mistake there. Musketeer does connect. Yeah. This is a good chance here for the Royal Giant to try to break through. Mortar cannon cart.
Mortar got hit on the phone star.
Here we go, 516 to 527. The high mortar did its job there for Flash. High mortar again. Royal Giant, though, needed to take a half step forward. Fireball goes to the bridge, but look at that. Mortar does connect, and DiegoE knows that was a big problem.
Man, good comeback from Flash. I didn't expect him to win this. This should be it.
Flash will have to defend one more time. Log comes in. Miner goes to the tower here. The skeleton and the E-Spirit. The Royal Giant shoots one time. It shoots a second time. Fireball in. No way. 52 HP. DiegoE comes back. What a finish. Unbelievable. The pickup on the Miner with the Electro Spirit and the skeletons. An absolute game saver for DiegoE. What a way to clutch the win.
I don't know. Flash would have loved to have a fireball there for the instant damage.
Unbelievable. That was... I wish I could see replays here.
That hurts.
Oh. Oh, that was, you know what, it hurts almost as much as these sunglasses. We need to switch these out. These are, whatever these things are, you know, let's go with a, oh, you know what? Ooh, do those come back out? You know what? Special treat, guys. I was going to save these ones, but special treat here. These are actually a replacement that they sent me because I had a pair of these for years, and they got scratched up because I didn't treat them well. And I got a special. We're gonna put the Andy Warhols away. These are fun, but they are not my style exactly. But here we go. This is one of my favorite styles that they make, and I'm happy to have a replacement pair. Gardening with a Kraken. Let's go. This is the fire right here. Look at that. Boom. There we go. Let's see. Take a look at the chat here for a second. If they nerf Mega Knight, yep, Mega Knight gets talked about. A lot of oh my gods in the chat here. Ouch, he had SB for Skellies. It's the final countdown to Zomotile. Let's see. Anything else in here? Christian Santana bringing out some great dad jokes. My girlfriend is mad at me because I never smile. It's not my fault. She wanted a serious relationship. Yeah. Let's get it. I want to say hi. Well, thank you, Connor, for saying hi. I'm going to see Morton. Hold on. I think I clipped it. Let me see how fast I can download this clip. Let me see something real quick. Because if I can, I'll replay it. Not in time. All right. Let's go ahead and jump into Airsurfer versus Pompeo.
Oh, that's insane.
Yeah.
Good game.
That's the game. That's the game right here. Let's go.
Okay.
Airsurfer top of your screen. Pompeo at the bottom. Thanos, good to see you.
1 second bait.
This is going to be really interesting here. Airsurfer going with bait yet. Brandon Lynn, this is a dual BO3 format.
Different type of bait. Last time it was double bait.
Young Carlos asking who is Pompeo. Pompeo is one of the all-time great ladder players. Probably the original best ladder player, I would say.
Yeah. Yes.
You know, now it's the question of whether it's Igor or Samuel. But
Yeah.
you know, if you put a ladder Hall of Fame, Pompeo is a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, 100%.
Pompeo didn't play for anybody in 2018, did he?
No, I think he was still in school.
Fair enough. And there you go. Will the Fire Spirit get there behind? It will not. So far, no damage either way.
This furnace.
Oh, that's brutal. So he's against Furnace, Bar Barrel, Fireball. Is the plan here just pressure for Airsurfer?
He has a Prince version. Yeah, sure. Trying to stack up princesses, like make sure to don't give him too much too much Barbarian Barrel value or Fireball value, and kind of waiting for the mistake from Pompeo. And then try to punish him, because with the bait, it's not really like just a bait deck, it's like bait Witch Band. They punish opponents really well. The fire spirits are so annoying.
And stacking them now here on the left-hand side.
Okay.
And this is there goes the rocket for the cycle play, and does get on the furnace. Almost two furnaces, does just get one here. So this is essentially, for all intents and purposes, a revitalization of the old school look of RG Furnace.
Yeah, in the Eastwood as well. So Pompeo's doing a great job, always cycling his Royal Giants in the back, and then try to get the Lumberjack down to rage up his air troops, because this is going to be really annoying for Erso, because he just has the Rascals against Baby Dragon plus Mega Minion.
Prince down, Lumberjack to hold this time. Bar Barrel should be back in cycle, and it is. Takes care of business very well. Princess goes to the right-hand side, does get a connection, but Mega Minion will take care of that. Princess being cycled to the strong side over and over again.
Yeah.
So for the viewers at home, why is Airsurfer cycling Princess to any reason other than the obvious for why he's cycling Princess to the strong side continuously?
Yeah, because of the tower HP on the left side. Like he doesn't want to give Pompeo a free fireball on the lower tower.
And now goes to that same lane now. RG behind the Lumberjack. Mega Minion down. Royal Giant will get one raged up shot. And now this is spread pretty thin here. Barb Barrel, though, perfectly in cycle. Pompeo doing a good job of making sure that he's got the answer there every single time. Final 75 seconds. Things still very tight here, Morton.
Yeah. Both are playing really well. Let's see who's doing the first mistake. Who takes the fireball. So... Okay. There's gonna be some damage for both sides.
Oh, and the Fire Spirit leaps. The Fire Spirit leaps. Prince, though, a lot of life on the right-hand side, forces the Furnace out. That could be a game changer right there.
Yeah, the one goblin is a ton of damage. Oh my, the Fire Spirit.
Princess stays alive. Barb Barrel to the right, or Goblin to the right-hand side. Barb Barrel goes to the inside on it. Does not pick up the last Goblin. 12:20 on the right-hand lane. Final 30 seconds. Royal Giant aggressive high into the Prince with the Rage.
Yeah, and this is it. And that's the thing in Triple X, the time if there's a Rage down, like he always gets at least 2 Royal Giant shots because Airsurfer doesn't have a building in stack.
And
well played.
GG, very well played. Pompeo taking game number one. Oh, I'm a little bit late on that one. He was saying should have switched lanes. We did go back and forth on the lanes pretty consistently. By the way, use code RICH if you haven't used it yet. Use code RICH in the shop. Or use a code. But code RICH would be nice because you're watching my stream, obviously. But use a code when you buy things in whatever game you're playing because it helps out the creators. What's your code, Morton?
Morton.
Oh, pretty easy. Yeah. Use code RICH or use code Morton. Use one of those codes. And there you go. Also, sub to Morton. There's his Twitter right there. Follow him on Twitter. Sub to him on things. DC the Boss says, I used code RICH last night. Get it. Let's go. Evan Cordova saying, I will not use code RICH. Okay, then use code Morton. There you go. What do you call a telephone with no wire? No idea. What was I going to say? I had some. How can I say it in the challenge? Mahmood. Follow Revel Amar on Twitter. Here's his Twitch. Revel's currently streaming this in Spanish, and he will tell you guys whenever there's new qualifiers open. Thank you, Ian. Ian making up for whoever it was who said, I won't use code RICH. Ian balancing things out. Thank you, Ian. I do appreciate that. And Mortar here for Airsurfer. Who do you think is going to win is the question. Well, it's a question we talk about a lot.
Airsurfer is still going to win this.
This is E-Giant?
Yeah, should be a good matchup for Airsurfer. Mortar is really, really strong against E-Giant because it's not doing the reflective damage to the Mortar.
Even with the... So, you know, explain this for me a little bit. Even with the bats and the spears for the Mother Witch, just because the Fireball clears Mother Witch off?
Yeah, and he's still... I think last card is going to be the Knight or the Valkyrie, so it's going to be another tank for sure, and I think just Airsurfer is going to be able to minor chip him. Okay. I think he's just going to minor chip him, plays good defense. As long as he's careful with the Mother Witch, he should be fine. And yeah, as I said, Mortar is like the best card against E-Giant.
And very well controlled here by Airsurfer, who is almost single-handedly the reason why they changed the format of global tournaments. For those of you who watched the original global tournaments, Airsurfer and back-to-back tournaments put up something like 130 or 140 wins. And they changed the matchmaking after that so that he couldn't just play forever and expo everybody.
Oh.
Oh, I also now know that you are a half second ahead of me. Because, man, get a new iPad, Team Queso. Get a new iPad, Team Queso. Oh, we're back into the game. All right, they had a backup iPad. Let's go.
Yeah. You will always have the Fireball ready for the Mother Witch.
Hey, Morton, will you take this for a second? Go ahead and cast for a second, Morton.
Okay. Musketeer is coming down. I think, honestly, like, as long as Airsurfer is playing it, like, really well and not, like, overcommitting with something, he should take it up, even as the Mother Witch. Like, if
Like, I know Airsurfer a lot. Like, he's not doing any mistakes in the situations. He's just playing defensive. He doesn't really he doesn't really care about winning this one. He just wanna chip him out and win with tower damage, basically. Oh my, that was insane, miner. As long as he's spreading out the Musketeer and the Mortar, he should be fine. Yeah. Good log. Mortar is connecting. It's like really interesting to see that like Airsurfer is trying to switch lanes here. I think he's just like trying to not go into the same lane as the E-Giant. Because this is not really what you want to see going in the same lane as the E-Giant, so he's trying to kind of switch it up and tries to apply opposite lane pressure, and he's going for quite a ton of offensive mortars. Which is also really interesting, but he knows what he's doing. So he's going for aggressive E-Giant now. Oh my, that's perfect defense. That was so well played by Airsurfer. Yeah. That's not really what I want to see. That's some damage. He needs to be careful now. Okay, going aggressive once again with a mortar. I don't really agree with this decision right now. I don't really agree with this decision, going aggressive mortars. Because he already saw it didn't really work out. But mine on the tower, chipping away once again, going for high Musketeer, no Inferno Dragon cycle. Fireballs coming down. Oh my, the piggy. No, the piggy.
And I am back. Sorry guys, I had something I could not, a call that I was not able to clear. But I'm here. Business
so
taken
close.
care of, and I'm here in time just for that final 15 seconds, which honestly is the most important seconds.
Yeah, I think Airsurfer did some mistakes here, that's why it's so close, but he honestly still won the game. Yeah.
Nice connection there. Lightning won't be enough. GG, well played. And we're going to game number 3.
Yes.
Question being asked in the chat, do you think that Rocket needs a small damage buff so it can one-shot Expo and Balloon? I think no, but, you know, I'm curious what you think.
I also think no, not more. Please no more rocket damage.
Yeah, please no more rocket damage is a great way to put it. Let's go ahead. What is the Queso Cup? Great question, GT Positive. The Queso Cup is an open event, sponsored by Team Queso that features both an open qualifier stage that already passed, plus invited pros and ladder players to come and compete. Each of the open qualifiers already happened for all the regions. There are 4 different regions. We are currently casting the North American region right now. Each region contains 2 open qualifier spots, 10 invited pros, and 2 players who are currently at the top of the ladder in their region, the highest rated or ranked players from their region. So there you go. That's what the Queso Cup is. There's the rules, by the way, in the chat for you one more time. And, of course, the Queso Cup, what are they playing for? $32,500. So quite a bit of cash there for you. That's the Queso Cup. You guys should join the Live, Laugh, Love clan. Nope. There you go. I'm gonna just for being called Live, Laugh, Love. What is this, a suburban home in 2007? There you go. There's your burn. Let's see. Back to the chat here for a moment. Why is 6 trophies Master 1? I don't know. 6K trophies. What do you think about Mega Knight's current state in the game? He has a nice helmet. What do you call a shellless turtle? A frog? How does Team Queso make money off these tournaments? No idea. I actually don't understand. I think orgs make money mostly from merchandise sales. I'm not really sure how orgs even work, to be honest. And final, most important question. Morton, do you prefer ice cream or pizza?
I mean, can you really compare them? I would say pizza overall.
I agree with you. I could do without. I don't need ice cream again, but I need pizza.
Yeah, okay.
Like,
yeah.
for real.
You see like that, yes.
If CRL was a jiu-jitsu match, who takes number 1, calling on your expertise? I don't know. Morton's pretty long, 6'4", 6'5", 6'6". Are you 6'6"?
Man, we are talking not in
We're talking in meters.
Yeah, you're a lot of meters. Morton's really tall, and that length could be really devastating in a jiu-jitsu match.
I think I'm the tallest here. Bro, not sure. I think so.
Bait here for Pompeo.
Airsurfer is still using the Ice Wizard.
Going with this version of the graveyard deck. I guess if he's thinking that did Pompeo already play Fireball?
Oh my. Lightning in the second game. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Yeah, so you look at that, and I guess like
makes sense.
Makes sense, right? Not much change there. What is a normal breakfast for Morton? Okay, that's a good question. What is your normal breakfast, Morton?
I don't really eat breakfast because I'm waking up at evening.
Fair enough.
You like? Depends. Sometimes, but even if I'm, what? Ah, okay, that was on purpose. I was like thinking it was a mistake. But even if I would wake up early, I'm not really hungry in the morning.
Oh, I can see but you're about 1 second ahead of me now as I hear you react to the graveyard. I was like, you said what? And I was like, what? And then I saw the graveyard come down.
Yeah, maybe I could. Maybe you could say your time. I'm just gonna wait.
Little Nimbus with the best one here, saying Morton eats 6K players for breakfast. That's fair. 50. I'm gonna give you a little countdown here. 51, 50, 49, 48, 47, 46. There we go.
I'm back.
All nice and synced.
Yeah. Let's go.
And there you go. This is the Prince in between the Rascals, getting behind that Rascal boy who does a little bit of tanking. Kind of an old classic move there to throw the Prince behind the Rascals.
I like Rascals. I'm happy to see them back.
Rocket to hold here at the bridge. Graveyard in. Dark Goblin working on defense. And that's going to be a full counter, I believe. And it is very, very nicely played here by Pompeo with 14 seconds left.
Also counter push with the Dark Goblin.
There's a lot of pressure coming in. Dark Goblin does get on tower there at the end. Huge chunk of damage right now for Pompeo as Airsurfer now switches lanes with this graveyard push. Rascals to pick up. Dark Goblin once again in the back. This is not a full defense, but still going to be fairly nice for Airsurfer.
Looks like he doesn't have poison.
And both Rascal girls come from the left-hand side, so now that's where the damage goes. 2 princesses down. Rascals again to defend here. Rascal girls focusing on the Valk for the moment. Dark Goblin in the back. And, you know, the Ice Wiz not really a factor either direction in this game, it feels like.
Yeah. I feel like without poison, it's so hard to break through. Like, even if he's going to fireball the Rascal team, he's going to fireball the Dark Goblin. There's no way for him to break through, and Pompeo's just able to pressure him all the time with Prince, which is also annoying for Airsurfer because he doesn't have skeletons or something.
Rascals high to the right-hand side, and it's a freeze.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, how is he supposed to win this? I really know, like, Pompeo's playing so well, and there's, like, can't break through.
Yeah, this is an interesting choice to go with freeze here.
Yeah. Good NATO, but just like cycling so quick to another sort of Rascals or Dark Goblin.
And able to protect so nicely with the Prince and the Rascals over and over again. It's just really a brutal matchup. And, you know, this is the second really strange choice from Airsurfer today. Yep. The attempt there with the Graveyard Freeze, not going to do it. Yep. But between this and then the Spawner deck, 2 really strange choices out of Airsurfer.
Yeah, I would have liked to see some safer choices, like because I feel like if Airsurfer plays his decks, his game, he's better than most of the players out there.
Well, it's a really interesting question of at what point do you try to do something different than people expect versus go for what people, you know, go right down the line. And Airsurfer went for some moves here today, but again, just a little bit strange on all of them. And Pompeo, I believe is that 2-0 for Pompeo on the day?
He won against Boss.
Yeah.
He won against 2-0.
There you go. Very, very nicely played by Pompeo. And, ooh, this is a fun song. What's this song? Oh, I know this song. Okay. This is from, I saw someone ask in the chat a little while ago about if I'm going to do more Brawl Stars stuff. Probably not. But if you guys did see the recent Showdown Throwdown on the official Brawl Stars esports YouTube page, I produced and directed that. That was my event. Obviously, Ark and Falcone were the casters who we brought in to do it, but I invented the Showdown Throwdown on my channel like 2 years ago as the Slayton Showdown then. And I always told my channel once we stopped doing it, it would be back in a bigger, better way. And we did it on the Brawl Stars esports channel on YouTube. But yeah, so for those of you asking, not so much Brawl Stars stuff here on my channel, but did that for the official Brawl Stars esports YouTube, and hoping to do more in this year, maybe the next. So if you want to see more of that stuff, hopefully you get to enjoy it. But I'm not just a caster anymore, guys. I'm a producer now. How about that? That's what's up.
Upgrade.
Yeah. Yeah, more work, but, you know, there's some other benefits that go along with it as well. You know what I mean? So here's a question for you, Morten. And this is for the chat, too. Chat, if you want. We have our last match coming up soon here, which is going to be Anaban and YoSoyRick, who played a great game in his first game. Mwah. You see this stuff behind me. I recently added these blue panels. This is the studio I'm in for the summer. I'm here through August. I'm here till early mid-August. I'm thinking of like putting some Clash Royale related things on here. Maybe painting them myself or getting them printed out, whatever it is. But you know, I'm open to suggestions of what you guys think should go here. I have an idea of what I might do, but I'm curious if you guys have any specific requests for up here. Wait, are they they're not saying that's the end, are they? Hold on. 1 second. Let me just double check this. I wonder if they did another match off stream. What happened to the YoSoyRick?
It's not in it. It's not there yet.
Oh yeah. Where? Okay.
Oh, okay. It's coming up.
We still have one more match. I was like, wait, what? Here we go. Final match, guys. This dude needs to get his money up. Neil Patra, my money is. Hold on, let me pop out. Let me come back over here where I'm on camera. My money good, bro. Morton's face on the wall. Ooh, yeah, that could be fun. Morton's face. Should I do just Morton's face, like but Andy Warhol style, right? Where it's like Morton's face in like pink here, and then Morton's face in like blue here, and then in green here, and it's just Morton's face everywhere. Or should I do like faces of different CRL pros? Ooh, that's actually not a bad idea during CRL, right? If it's like Morton, Molite, who else is top ranked right now? Ruben,
Igor.
Yeah, Igor Samuel. If I do that across here, that could be fun. I wouldn't object to that. That's creepy, says Choosing. Yeah, maybe. If it was just Morton's face, that's creepy. Or if it was all the guys who are the current like top 6, I could do like I have room for like the top 5 right here behind me. That could be fun. Morton's face in a night helmet. Dude, your thumbnail guy is out of control, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Picture of chicken from Heyday. Cashman coming through with the hot suggestion there. Picture of chicken from Heyday. I like it. Here we go, guys. Final match of the day. Coming off the most fun match of the day with the win there was YoSoyRick up against one of the all-time ladder greats and the #1 sniper in the history of the game, Anaban. Let's go. Hey, Karlinski, how you doing, buddy? Show the CRL leaderboards on your background. Yeah, I'm not doing green screen during CRL for these next couple months. So, you know. I have some ideas. What we might do.
He likes to run Sparky Ice Golem.
Mortar goes opposite lane here, and that's not going to be... oh, man. Doing it again. That's a full connection, though, for that Mortar. And Rick just going to have to eat that.
Kennecott did an insane job for Anaban.
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, Cannoncart's great against... Cannoncart and Barbell, both nice against Expo, obviously.
Yes.
Saketh Rams, it is a restaurant for takeout in Cali. It's California is a giant state of like 50 million people, so you have to be more specific, Sakethram. Hey, Morton, can you suggest a restaurant in Germany that I should order from? You know, when I'm just in Germany.
Even Germany's big.
Let's see. Here we go. Guys, okay. First of all, Morton, are you going to try this deck out on your own now that you've seen Rick run it twice?
Might. If he wins this game, I will do it.
If he wins this game, content, dude. You got to do a video. If he wins this game, you have to do a video on this for sure. It's so wacky.
Okay, I will do it. Soon everybody will use it. Oh, he lost.
Oh yeah, never mind. So, you know, congrats on not making that video, I guess. Although you should see if you can do even better with it. That's my theory.
Pushing to #1 with Sparky Expo.
Oh, 100%, 100%. I'm here for it. This is the content I'm on the internet for. 699 on the left-hand side. Sparky sets up to the right-hand lane. Defensive mortar setup here, predicting the Expo maybe. Ice Golem, Sparky.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I wonder if someone paid Rick to run this deck. If this was like a subscriber. This is part of his Patreon.
I hope he got paid enough for that.
That's Sparky. If that Sparky one pick gets away, Sparky's not healthy enough. Never mind. I want to see. I really want to see Rick do something with this deck. I'm not rooting for one player or the other here, but I really would love to see Rick turn this into something here. Just because it's compelling. And the cannon cart is just so brutal in this matchup. Musketeer half step late. Does get on the mortar, though. Not going to matter much. Final 90 seconds. Anaban has to make a big mistake here to lose this one. Jay Ducky, I appreciate your $2 super chat. I have no idea what any of that means. And I don't even want to say it because I don't know if there's something like wildly inappropriate about what your super chat is. But I appreciate your $2 and that you said a thing that I don't understand. Sparky going left-hand lane. Cannon cart away, and the back bar barrel does turn the Sparky. And yeah, this is just bananas.
Just about time.
Triple elixir. Can Anaban win this matchup? Probably. He's way favored. He's way in the lead, and YoSoyRick is playing nonsense right now. Did this nonsense work today? Yes. Will it work against what I would say is a pretty hard counter? Probably not.
I don't think so.
Look at Rick's OP setup. Yeah, Rick does have a fire setup. Big-time YouTuber, that's for sure. Final 20 seconds. Well, Rick, you got one with it. Not going to get two. That's a G. G. Well played. Anaban takes game number 1. So he might have one more game here. He might have 2 more games. But we know right now Anaban with the lead. What makes Anaban so dangerous, Morton? It's not just he's not just a sniper, right? Like, all people can pick snipe decks and then still get trashed. What makes Anaban so dangerous?
I feel like I think the most annoying thing about playing him, you never know what he's playing. Like, he could play anything. Could be like a weird P.E.K.K.A. Graveyard, I guess we saw. He could play like Mortar, as we saw. Like, he can play everything. Can basically play any deck, and you don't like if you face like even if you face the best players in the world, you can already know what you expect from them. If you face Moonlight, you know he likes Miner a lot. He plays Graveyard decks. But if you face Anaban, it could be some weird Graveyard freeze decks. It could be some P.E.K.K.A. freeze. Could be some Mortar, but could be also like some classic decks, which are like Hawk EQ, which he played already. So this is like I think the most annoying thing, and then also like adding this snipe ability which he has.
Well, that's one of the things that Chivas did very well utilizing him during the No Tilt League Special Edition. Was doing a great job of, it petered out there at the end, but for a long time they did a great job of just kind of being like, hey, what can we throw together? because there's a very high level of individual card mastery out of Anaban. I think that's something you're talking about. He can play anything. So yeah, they did that to a very, very strong effect for a while, and then kind of ran out of steam there because, he was kind of carrying there for a minute. Jacob Dollar saying, Rich, can you say hi to my mom? Hello, Jacob Dollar's mom, Candace. Hi. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Is your boy behaving? Did he clean his plate? Is his room tidied? Did he do his homework? Tell him to go do his homework. There you go, Jonathan, Jacob Dollar. Gotcha. Let's see. Anything else in the chat here that's important? A 5K deck? Yeah. Look, that deck is weird. Certainly. What is of all the strange one-trick decks that work? Which one is the one that you think is the most crazy that actually works?
I mean, the P.E.K.K.A. Balloon Freeze deck from Anaban is kind of crazy, right? But which is the craziest one? It's
like, what's the one that shouldn't work, right? Like P.E.K.K.A. Freeze, you see some pieces there that make sense, but like
the Mohamed Parsa deck, This is like crazy. Graveyard Balloon, Bomber, Dark Prince, P.E.K.K.A. Tornado. This should make sense.
Yeah,
but it does make sense.
Yeah, Mohamed Parsa's deck is absolutely insane. Pheno's deck used to annoy me a bunch.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Also this deck.
But Mohamed Parsa, yeah, that one. You know when a deck is just named after a person, that's insane.
Yeah. Also the Z2 Pro deck, like Giant Skeleton Wizard. They're like some crazy decks.
So bait for Anaban. Probably expect some rascals in here with the Prince. YoSoyRick with one spawner.
Interesting to see Anaban running bait. Not what you expect.
Well, as you mentioned before, one of the things about Anaban is doing things you don't expect and doing them very well. Yeah. So let's see what he's like running this.
I think another thing which makes him so strong is that people always expect him to snipe you, so you're always scared to play your main decks. But this is what he that's his big advantage, I would say. That he's everybody expects me to snipe, but I'm just not gonna do it. I'm just gonna play my best decks here.
The first 90 seconds away, midway point of regulation time, and that Valkyrie's gonna get some damage on tower. A bit of a miscalculation there by Anaban.
Yeah, good going, Alexa.
Pretty significant miscalculation there. Decides to pressure and double down on the troops going the opposite direction. Dark Goblin, no joke there on the right-hand side. Almost evens things up. 350-something, 348 HP difference now on those towers. Log works on that left-hand lane. A half step early there from Anaban, so has to deal with those spears as well. 47 spectators. What's the most people you've ever had spectating you in game during a game?
A few thousand. I think global tournament when it was high. When global tournaments released and I was top 50, there was so much hype around them. So I think 10,000 even more. I don't know.
Did you even?
Insane.
Did you get? I mean, you've played obviously with tons of people watching, millions watching. In fact, did that 10,000 number in the corner there trip you out?
No. Just like a confetti on the side.
Stone cold. Morton here, and the Prince does come out from behind the Rascal. Not exactly what Anaban was going for. Barb Barrel working for Rick as he's setting up a bit of a counter push here. Baby Dragon gonna lead the way for the Electro Wizard. Does get stopped by the classic Prince. Dark Goblin in support with the hut down. Pressure opposite lane. It seems, I mean, I guess that was that pressure purely just to force out something like the Valkyrie?
Yeah. But if I would be YoSoyRick, I would play my Goblin Hut a bit lower, right in front of the King Tower, because then the Princess is not able to snipe it. I always like to do it against Princess bait decks, to go in with my Goblin Hut in front of the King Tower. Because now the Prince is always getting value.
And there's the Princess getting some work on onto the Goblin Hut. Poison onto that left-hand lane.
Yeah.
Final minute, triple elixir.
He's just gonna play defensive, trying to stack huts, and then going for 2 more graveyards most likely, at 0-30 or something. Oh,
Nice read
good
there
one.
from Rick.
okay, now he's like in a awesome spot. Yeah.
Baby Dragon goes back to the Princess. Knight runs away, and now Graveyard comes in. With the lead right now is Rick. Final 30 seconds. There should be a Barb Barrel cycle for that. Yes, there is. The lead extended here by a significant margin. That's a huge chunk, and most likely an insurmountable chunk done by Rick on the right-hand side. So, been a long day of this stream, and we are going to go a little bit longer, folks, on our way into our... Oh, goes for the tricky barrel behind the rocket. Not going to work against Rick here, Anaban. And we are headed to our third and final game, and what will be our final game of our kickoff day in North America for the Queso Cup. Anaban and Rick, game number 3 coming up in just a moment.
Important game for Anaban. You lost the first one, so going 0-2 isn't the way you want to start the tournament.
Yeah, that's it. That becomes challenging, right? Like an interesting question when you talk about guys like Anaban, who he's not washed, right? Like he's still murdering on ladder. He's still top 10. What is he, number 3 on what is it? Where is he on the recent on the leaderboards? He's number 3. And I don't think I think, did he make a monthly final? I don't think he even made a monthly final.
No. I think just once top 32.
Yeah, right?
Or twice.
So that's how good he is at ladder. He's certainly not washed, but that's never translated to competitive.
Yes.
Any idea why?
I mean, he had a great time in the Noted Special Edition, but after that he fell off. I think it's hard to say. Like maybe he feels more comfortable just on ladder. Like I think the CRL season, the spring split kind of got him.
Yeah.
I think if he would have performed there like as he did in the special edition, it would be like different now.
Sure, I get that. Let's see. Jay and Thasking, Rich, when and where will the CRL 2021 Worlds be held? They'll be held in December, like always, and they're going to be online again, as far as I've been told. I do not believe we're going to be doing an in-person final this year.
No.
Although, I'm going to keep an eye on it and see how things are in the fall. But if things look good in the fall, and no promises here, but if they look good in the fall, I might do an outdoor meetup thing in Texas at some point in the summer, in the fall. But it depends really heavily on how things are going. So fingers crossed that we'll be in good enough shape then, but no promises. Hey, Ugarte with a $2 dono. Yeah, I do appreciate that, man. What was the question? Where's the burrito? Oh, the burrito will be in the fall when I get back to Texas. Here we go. Game number 3.
Tesla first play. Okay.
Bomber. Mega Minion.
Yeah. It's kind of obvious that it's going to be E-Giant.
Yeah, decent lightning value there. Although way behind on Elixir.
Yeah. Pekaloon Freeze.
Here we go. You want to see it? You want to see it? Here you go. Anaban running the Anaban deck. If you're going to go out in style. And I actually feel like this potentially could be very good against the E-Giant deck.
He won.
Yeah.
Yeah, he won.
That might be the best 2-word casting that I've ever experienced in Clash Royale. Oh, boy.
Yeah, great tornado. Like, so the P.E.K.K.A was focusing Mother Witch and not gonna get killed by the E-Giant, and yeah, that's basically just Tesla on defense against the E-Giant, and yeah, GG's. He won. He can't, there's no way, like, he's gonna break through P.E.K.K.A Tesla. Ice was enabled.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Is Anaban the best tornado player of all time?
No, RF.
Who is?
RF.
Oh, RF. Yeah, it's the RF's NATO. Was that against you in 2v2, the NATO on the Golem?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't against us. It wasn't against us. But I remember that. I remember that.
That was fire, and that was such a great in the moment call on their part too.
Yeah. I think I was against Colton and Razor.
Man, that one was sick. You know, it must have been against Colton and Rouser because I remember Luis. We always encouraged trash talk for the content, and Luis was great at that. And we got Luis to cut so many promos of being like, "We ended their season last season. We're gonna do it again this season." Totally played ball. I loved having him on there.
This was more. This was like CL,
yeah.
But a lot complexity against Immortals, in 2019 as well when they played for World Cyber Games. Mm-hmm. It was just so insane.
Yeah, so much fun. That was a good rivalry. Well, speaking of rivalries, ain't much of one here. GG, well played. After some wild ones, and you know what, Rick got a pretty bad matchup in this last one, and I'm still gonna say hats off to Rick for giving us the most entertaining best of 3 of the day.
Yes, 100%.
Let's see, people in the chat. People saying they're fans of yours, Morton. So yeah, I agree with that. Myself as well. Someone else saying that he thinks Anaban is the best Tornado player, but if I'm going to choose the opinion of someone from the YouTube chat or the opinion of Morton, I'm going to take Morton on that one.
I mean, for me, the point is that RF did it in the most important moments. For sure, most of the time, the overall Anaban might be better, but RF showed it in the most important moments when it was about a ton of money and stuff.
That's a big one. Yeah, you want to talk about nerves of steel. RF is cold.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, let's see our leaderboard after our first day of play in North America. Sergio Ramos, Hasiel, and Pompeo all 2-0. In that whole mix in the middle, you see a bunch of players here. Magma Bag, Airsurfer, YoSoyRick, Betfas, and Anaban, and Flash all 1-1. DiegoE and Boss have both, I guess, played an extra match today. I didn't know that was on the schedule. And Kazeem and Lattack both at 0-2 right now. But your teammate, Sergio Ramos, currently undefeated.
Now, this is not what I expected when I went into the day today, but I'm happy.
Of course you are. Very happy to see it. Let's see. Jayanth asking, Rich, will you host the June monthly qualifier? I am hosting the June monthly qualifier, the Sunday edition, the top 32. I am not going to be doing the other portion of it because, as Morton was talking about earlier, that Swiss bracket is brutal. But
yes,
we'll be doing top 32 here on the channel. That's when you will. I think is that this upcoming Sunday?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you'll see me early Sunday morning for the top 32. I'll tweet the timeout when it happens. I'm going to be up late watching the UFC the night before. Man. Oh, whatever. It's fine. So you'll see me back on Sunday for the top 32, and then I'm here. The only part of the Queso Cup of this stage of the Queso Cup that I'm casting is the NA Wednesdays. So NA is back on Friday. I don't know if we have an English stream yet. I'm going to try to work with Queso to figure out how to get an English stream up. But I'll be back here Sunday with the top 32, and then, of course, Wednesday with the next edition, the day 3 of the NA region for the Queso Cup. And then, of course, the following weekend, I'll be back for the top 8 on the official CRL broadcast on their channel, on the Clash Royale Esports channel, with the rest of my casting team. And more importantly, though, number one most important thing is these studies are freaking fantastic. But the most important thing is a huge thank you to my buddy Morton. Dude, I just threw that out there being like, is anybody going to want to come out and cast? And then when you said you were down, I was excited. The chat was excited. And, dude, having you on this is a pleasure and an honor, dude.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. And if you need a caster in the future, just ask me.
Guys, open invitation. Morton will be back on the channel. We've now gotten both halves of the great 2v2 duo. That's it for us. For Morton, for everyone at the Queso Cup, I'm Rich Slayton. See you back here on Sunday for the CRL Top 32. Peace.